Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the voice of the people. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Boxingvoice.com.
You need that fear.
All I'm trying to do is make a stand for something that I truly believe is right. I truly believe is right. I'm the base of boxing. I'm the cash cow. I hold the record.
My drop. I know my direction. I want to fight.
Production.
But it's going to be very difficult for both of us.
Boxingvoice.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Boxing Voice Radio. Today is Sunday, and it is Crow Day, and there is a lot of crow to be served. I'm telling you, everybody just about picked Broner over Garcia. Garcia rose to the occasion and ended up putting on a spectacular performance. Probably his best performance till date. We're going to head on out to the Golden State and discuss this with my co-host, Matt, the Hipster Hunter, as well as good old Superman Steve, who's back.
Dollar DiBiase Production.
This is a beautiful performance against a very tough guy in Michael Johnson. How do you feel about it? Fuck that. Conor McGregor.
Boxingvoice.com.
You know me, Larry. From a wicked entrance, from a flip over the rock, into a knock out now. When the main thing is, I just hope the guy, I wish.
Boxingvoice.com.
Yes, the hitters here. Haters beware. Mikey Garcia beat Adrien Broner in a pretty dominant victory, to say the least. Mikey Garcia outclassed him. Clearly outclassed him, was clearly a step above in almost every way. And solidify that he is an elite level boxer, that he deserves to be in the talks with the likes of Crawford, the Lomachenkos. If he does really want to go to 147, we shouldn't really count him out against the top guys there either. I think we should start giving Mikey the benefit of the doubt, which we were not giving him before this fight. I think he's earned that, to say the least. I have no crow to eat, unlike a lot of these people that are going to call in. Including maybe you, Ness. I know you didn't officially pick on the Boxing Voice, but you did make a pick on Sirius XM. Rush, if you want to go check that out, ladies and gentlemen. Because Ness did a good job. He was in the whole panel of journalists, so that was a good job. But anyways, I have no crow to eat. Big Baby Miller did awesome as well. So did Jamal Charlo. God, beating up Forrest Gump like that, man, that was just sad to watch. So cannot wait to chop it up with everyone. And Steven, glad you're back, man.
Let's head on out to, he's not in any, I don't know what Cal he's in these days.
There'll be nothing but smooth sailing.
I am back in Southern Cali, born and raised, back from the north, back on Boxing Voice too. Man, I'm very excited to be here. Those fights were really, I'm glad that we had an action-packed weekend. Some people might have been disappointed by the fight. I think that's what was expected from some people. Matt, I disagree with you in the sense that we should give Mikey Garcia a lot of credit for going forward with the idea of moving up to 147. I think that he should be very cautious in doing so. But I'm excited to chop it up, and I'm really excited when all the callers call in and play matchmaker on who they think all of these guys should get next for the next opponents.
Absolutely. Listen, before we get on out to any callers or things like that, remember the number 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 if you want to voice your opinion here on the Voice of the People hotline. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Helps with the visibility of the show, lets everybody on this panel know that you're enjoying the content and the hard work that we put in. All international callers and people that want to call, absolutely free. Just add Nestor Gibbs on Skype. That's NESTORGIBBS. I want to obviously go and congratulate our good friend Mikey Garcia. Spectacular win, and go to his post-fight interview conducted last night with Jim Gray.
Mikey, congratulations. Would you say that this was perhaps your best performance ever? Definitely one of them. I think I controlled the fight from the early rounds. I kept the activity up. He's a tough fighter. He's a great fighter. He's got great skills. I was just better fighter tonight.
Now, I mean, as he goes on, we know, Matt, that he says if anybody like Lainez or Crawford would like to face him, they can call Showtime. So it seems as if Crawford and Lainez, who are on the side of HBO, is really not an option. That's more like that Lomachenko call out, put all your purse up. You want to fight me, fight on this network. That's not how you negotiate, by putting stipulations. That being said, he did mention moving to 47. This title that he won, it's a diamond belt, emeritus belt. It's not a legitimate title, so it doesn't really give him any mandatory position to Terrence Crawford. Again, Crawford be it on HBO. 140 becomes a no man's land for him. Does he go back down? Does he go to 47? Or do you want to first take your time and enjoy what it was that he did, and discuss more of the technical aspect of Mikey Garcia in the ring and how he really pitched the shutout on me? Now, on my card, I had it 10-2.
Yeah, I agree with that scorecard. And I also want to say, why can't we have Mikey versus Crawford? I mean, obviously, Mikey's a free agent. Crawford is no longer aligned with HBO. Bob Arum is no longer aligned with HBO solely. So I think that is an open fight. That's a highly available fight. And let's be honest, Mikey now has a better win than Terrence Crawford. He does. It's at least a bigger win. We can make arguments about the skill level of some of these guys, but Adrien Broner is a massive win. There's a reason why Crawford fans were dying for a Broner fight at 140. Because it would legitimize Terrence Crawford at 140. It would hopefully try to help him to be a star. Mikey got that win. Mikey got that fight. So I think we need to start thinking that Mikey can get these big fights, that Mikey can win these big fights because he's done it. He did it.
I would agree with you about that, but the thing is that how much more of a bigger win is Adrien Broner now? Adrien Broner hasn't been the top in any weight division, names of course, but is he necessarily the top fighter in any of these divisions for the last couple of years? You might argue against Oliver Kurtiev when he won the title that he was at least champion, but let's be real, we know that wasn't maybe a championship worthy type of fight, and he certainly hasn't put on that type of performance since.
Who on Crawford's resume could beat?
Well, let's consider when Crawford unified first against Postal. Postal was at least the WBC champ and just got done knifing up Lucas Matisse. And now Crawford's going to turn around and unify 4 belts, all of the division titles. So I think if Crawford unifies, I think that Crawford certainly would have the better wins. Even though Mikey has this Adrien Broner win, I would say Crawford would have the better resume overall.
I'm not arguing resume. I'm saying who has the better win. And you could actually, that is very argumentative because look at what Mikey's done at 126 and 130. So we don't need to get into the resume because that wasn't what I said. I said this is a bigger win than any single win on Crawford's resume, including when he beats Ndongo in a month.
You think so? Really? You give you give Mikey more credit for beating Broner now than Crawford will have beating a two-time, or I guess technically a 2-time champion in Ndongo.
Well, yeah, a 2-belt holder champion. That's what you're trying to allude to, I think. Yeah, I do. Because again, I've never valued belts over fighters. Fighters take precedent over the belts. Julius Ndongo won his first belt. Hold on, very quickly. Julius Ndongo won his first belt off of Edward Chinovsky. Who was Edward Chinovsky? Who did he beat? No one. He beat Ricky Burns. Ricky Burns was never a true 140-pounder. Ricky Burns was best at 135, and Ricky Burns is past his prime. Not saying that's not a good win. That's actually a really good win, but there are still added context that you have to put on with that victory. So Julius Ndongo, yes, I would say is less credentialed than Adrien Broner, and obviously less significant of an opponent.
If we're arguing popularity and significance, And significance to who? That has to be.
Yeah, sorry. I should say popularity more than significance, because people come on and say, "Oh, undisputed means more than that," but does it really?
But truth be told, it's not a popularity contest. The better win is obviously on the Crawford side because Postal beat Matisse. Broner doesn't have one fight where the person that he beat could even fucking get a draw with Matisse.
But are we going to act like Postal is better than Broner?
Beat Emmanuel Taylor, same guy that Broner beat.
I don't know that Broner is better than Postal, because I feel like at this point we've learned that a very skilled and well-schooled boxer can give Broner trouble, whereas before we did not know that. But after last night, I think we know it now going forward.
I'll put it this way.
Speaking of the man, let me just go to some audio just so it can actually get us in a better mood.
Said it was a do-or-die fight, and unfortunately it didn't
come out. They said it's a do-or-die fight. If I fight tomorrow, then everybody in this motherfucker gonna still come see me, man. At the end of the day, listen, I'm still AB. I'm still about billions. I'm still the can, man. I'm still a fighting motherfucker, and anybody still can get it. And if you want a rematch in California, we can do it.
And what about the weight? Was it just too much weight for you to come down?
I wasn't tired. Okay. I was okay. It just he fought a better fight tonight. He was the better man tonight, and it's okay. At the end of the day, I'm still a 4-time world champion, 4 different weight classes, and when I'm done with sport, I'm gonna be in the history books.
What's your guys' thought on that post-fight interview? I mean, I think around here we've said in the past that sometimes we can't take too much into what they say after a fight because of the blows and, you know, things like that. But I think this was a bit distasteful.
I think
just simply because he was like, you know, I just want to thank the fans and everybody watching because it's because of you guys I make this big ass check. It's like, I don't know.
I mean, it's Broner though. Like,
yeah, I think Broner
distasteful. I mean, he's done way worse than this.
I think this was calculated in the sense that Broner said that, you know, people would still watch him fight, and we agree that people would still watch him fight. And the reason why is because Broner is still Broner. He's still outlandish. He's still an attraction, and it's mostly in part at this point now by the way he runs his mouth, either during, before, or after a fight. So
yeah, but
after that fight, saying that, getting people upset is strategic in the sense that now you do just want to pay to or tune in to watch him lose again and again.
But Steven, at this point, the hot air in that balloon has been seeping out. I mean, Broner had us fooled. He had that last ace of spades. I mean, he disrespected me in my interview when I brought up the thought of Mikey being that fight that can put him back on the pound-for-pound list. Funny thing is, going into this fight, no one had him on that pound-for-pound list. Even more ironic is now Mikey is on a lot of people's pound-for-pound list with a win over Broner. You know?
Yeah, I could see the argument. I wouldn't blame anyone for putting Mikey on that type of pound-for-pound list. I think Broner, though, overall, I think we can all agree that he's capable of coming back, capable of attracting numbers, and capable of having another 2, depending on how he performs, maybe even 3 big fights left. How many times has Amir Khan come back from the dead?
And I think Broner can come back.
That is true, and we do live in a world, Matthew, of Rosado and Murray.
Oh, absolutely. And also, it's easier for stars to bounce back. It's always been easier for stars to bounce back from a loss. I feel like that's always been like something that we don't really talk about. Not really necessarily us, but fans. Like, we really don't realize that if you're a star, you're more afforded a loss than a non-star. Look at like a guy like Shawnee Monahan, a guy that's not really a star. He got his first loss. Are we ever going to hear from him again?
Yeah, but after
Adrien Broner got his 3rd loss, and we're going to still get headlines from him.
Yeah, but after watching this loss, who does he beat, right? Like, at 140, there's no names. He's got to be served up the Lipinets. And if you think of names that you know where you're trying to get Broner, when you're like, all right, well, we could put him in there with Collazo, but then you say to yourself, damn, after last night, could he really beat could he beat that Collazo that fought Sammy Vasquez? You know,
nobody could maybe beat a Sammy Vasquez.
Yeah,
I think that he could.
I think those fights. He could get those fights because the problem is he's always going to beat the Carlos Molinas and Emmanuel Taylors of the world, and then they're going to give him another big fight. And
what about the winner of like Mauricio Herrera, Soto Carras? Oh, that's Golden Boy. Never mind.
And
Ness, you brought something really interesting last night, because last night you said that what about Victor Ortiz? Matt, you laughed it off, but Ortiz is fighting right now in the next couple hours. We all know that Ortiz at least puts on a performance. You know, he's highly athletic, I guess, if you will. You know, he's got tools that are capable of being used if they're in the right hands. He makes a good showing. You know, maybe he gets a knockout. I think that he's a good opponent because of the name for an Adrien Broner to come back against, and you know that they're both going to be talking a lot of trash to each other, so it'd be a fun build-up.
Speaking of name, Broner is right. If in 2 months they announced Amir Khan, Adrien Broner in the Barclays Center, we'd be right back there, because we know that Amir Khan presents that little bit of vulnerability that could make Broner great again, at least for that particular fight.
And that could almost be a headliner. Like, you could see that headlining.
No, I automatically think that's a headliner. Come on, don't be that disrespectful.
Well, at the Barclay, that it's a big venue. I don't know. That could be a co-headline. To be honest, that could be a doubleheader.
Khan beat Algieri in the Barclay. That's a headline.
Or you put a very legitimate title fight on the undercard of that, similar to like Sean Porter, Andre Berto.
Whatever, bro. We're arguing. We're arguing about nothing. You know, now you want to build an entire fight on it.
I'm arguing. I'm just stating stuff.
Who do you want on the undercard of Broner Khan? Let's go, Matt. Who do you want on the undercard?
Well, he wants a junior. Nah, shut up, Matt. You want a junior lightweight on that undercard, someone that none of us know of, but you do. Come on, Matt. Be real.
Jerrell Corrales. He wants Jerrell Corrales to come back.
Dude, Jerrell Corrales obviously whooped off. Never mind.
Yo, Jerrell Corrales looks like a broke version of Felix Diaz.
Yo, didn't he barely get past that Robinson Castellanos?
I don't mean
he was winning. Dude.
I respect Robinson Castellanos.
Actual face, like that's what his face looks like.
Oh, you mean like visually he looks like it?
But since we're talking about guys with blonde hair, Jamal Charlo got the mandatory slot solidified by getting a stoppage over Heiland, is how they pronounced it on the telecast last night. Sebastian Heiland. There was something obviously wrong with his knee. A lot of his shots, he was using his heel to, I guess, his legs look more like kickstand than actual legs. But Charlo did his job. It's funny to hear Daniel Jacobs on the telecast of Big Baby Miller and Gerald Washington with some seeming interest in a potential Jamal Charlo fight with himself. But ironic that we had Ronnie on the show Thursday before the fight saying that as far as Charlo's concerned, Daniel Jacobs is a step behind because he had his shot. He didn't get it. And why do they need to fight Jacobs? After this performance, watching this version of Charlo look almost like a light heavyweight, Matt. I mean, I was impressed with the amount of jabs and just overall output still after moving up to another division. I continue to like these guys. You know what I mean? I even liked his speech, even though it didn't flow as good as I wanted to, you know. It still sent the message. I don't know if it rubbed people the wrong way by him saying he's the real Tommy Hearns. But he is my modern day version of Tommy Hearns.
I can see that. I'm not really going to compare him to the guys that he compared himself to.
Let's hold on before you go forward, Matt. Saying that, Ness, what is your impression of a Tommy Hearns when you think of a fighter of Tommy Hearns? What does it invoke?
The guy that uses that long reach, that jab, followed by the right hand. I mean, that's what he was infamously known for, or famously known for, right? So,
certainly the knockout power in the right hand and the weight sets it up. I agree with that. But do we see Charlo knock people out with those 1-2s? I think Charlo's very skilled in the sense that he mixes it up in different combinations and he uses different angles and different punches. I think Tommy Hearns is just more of him trying to invoke that legendary name. But if I'm a Charlo, I start, you do what Charlos have always done and try to set themselves apart and do their own legacy. I don't think you need to bring up a Tommy Hearns to do that, and I certainly don't think you need to put him down while doing it.
I understand why he does it, though, because, again, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, like those names, you can argue, are still bigger names than 99% of the boxers we've seen in our generation, Steven. Like, let's just be honest. Like, our parents and our grandparents still talk about those four people. That's how much of a cultural impact those four men had, not only on the U.S., but overall the sporting world. So I can see why he does it. Do I think it works? Probably not.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I agree with you that those names are big names, of course, but I think by mentioning it the way he did, like Ness said, I think like what you also said, a lot of our parents and a lot of people, you know, they hold those names with you know, they're like royalty, you know, and when you compare yourself in that manner, and you know, do put them down a bit, I think it comes off in a bad way. And I don't think that's the way you should be compared to those guys. I think you should be compared to them as, you know, as peers and as kind of equals, not so much like, oh, I'm what, you know, he was supposed to be. Because to me, that's what it's coming off by the Charlo saying that.
But then you can even argue that that's a good thing because Charlo's already sort of been put into this villain role, especially Jermall.
You know what, let me tell you right now, if Tommy Hearns fought a guy with one leg, Tommy Hearns would have knocked him out in the first or second round. Let's be real. So to say that he's the real Tommy Hearns and it took him 4 rounds to take out Heiland, I'm sorry. When I was watching that fight, I thought it was evident from the first round that Heiland had something wrong. And if I didn't know any better, and believe me, I don't, I would argue the fact that maybe his corner knew that he was hurt going into that fight and chose to go in anyways because it is that old adage, you know, in boxing, if nobody fights, if you don't fight, nobody gets paid. And I think that was messed up. And to me personally, I think Charlo should have recognized it and A, took him out early. I think that the ref recognized it and B, should have stopped it earlier. And C, and I don't think that Heiland's trainer should have let him go out there. I think that was really wrong. And if they do some type of, you know, investigation in it, or maybe the doctors are able to say, yeah, that's been torn for a while now, I think that there should probably be some repercussions taken against Heiland's team for allowing him to go in there with one leg. Going in there with one leg is essentially going in there with one arm because you're not able to pivot and use that left hand that Heiland's going to be able to use as a southpaw.
Take a breather.
Sorry. He missed the boxing voice, man. He just missed it so much, man. He's back. He's like, man, I just got to talk a lot. It's okay.
No, this is why sometimes it's necessary to cut someone off because we could tell you that the corner knew. The commission.
They tried taping up his knee.
He tried to tape his knee up with tape. He didn't bring a knee brace the way that Sergio Martinez did into the Cotto fight. So, yes, everyone knew, and you're absolutely right. If you don't fight, you don't get paid. So that's why he tried to tape his knee up. That's why he went in there looking like Geppetto's creation.
Steven, any other points? Or are you
No, I agree 1,000%. And you're also right, Matt. I was very, very excited. You know, I let the itch comes every once in a while, and you got to scratch it.
Yeah, very quickly, I don't really disagree with any of those last 3 points you made about sort of who knew, who was involved, who should sort of be held accountable. I agree the ref definitely should have stepped in and just said, no, I'm not going to allow this to continue because you can obviously not box intelligently because you're injured. I do think it's on the corner to protect the fighter from themselves. I also understand why the corner chose to allow him to fight because, like you said, unless you're fighting, you're not getting paid. If this fight didn't go through, neither of these guys got paid. Now, for Charlo, in terms of how he should have handled an obvious injured opponent, I don't really fault him for not pressing the action too much because I can understand going, I don't want to get caught with anything stupid and look bad. So I'm just going to pick shot this guy, and I'm going to knock him out eventually because he's obviously on one leg. And it will come. I'm not going to force it. I understand that line of thinking. I also understand as the consumer, you don't want to see that. That you want to see, this guy's injured, get him the fuck out of here. He doesn't deserve to be in the ring because he's hurt. Let's end this. Let's end this misery. I understand that. But I think that's one of the things where neither one's really wrong.
Well, Steven, I hope you're not still holding a grudge for that picture. you know, I'm interested to see what is Jermall Charlo going to do now that he's in this mandatory position. We understand how long Gennady Golovkin remained in this position before he was even given, you know, any type of notice about anything. What does Charlo do before we move on to the next topic? Do you want to see him sit around and wait for the winner of Canelo Triple G and try to enforce the mandatory, or do you want to see him remain busy in this 160-pound division until something shakes out in September?
I think that I think he needs to fight one more fight. I think holding on to that mandatory, I think either Canelo or Golovkin is a legitimate threat to a Charlo, and I also think Charlo is a legitimate threat to them if he has another good showing against a solid, healthy middleweight who can punch. Because no offense to Charlo, actually, you know what, I got to give him credit. He fought J-Rock. J-Rock is a good, strong puncher, and you know he won that shootout respectively. I think though at that middleweight division, I think there's some good punchers who he could really benefit a lot from gaining some experience. You know, like you said, Matt, to take it easy and you know, maybe even kind of get the rounds a little. I think doing that against a healthy middleweight makes a big difference.
I would love to see Charlo fight somebody else in the meantime, mainly because I don't see the winner fighting him next. I just don't see it. It doesn't make the most sense at this time because right now there's a lot of options for the winner of that fight. So you got to start eliminating options. How do you do that? Fight another option. Fight a Daniel Jacobs. Fight a David Lemieux. Fight Billy Joe Saunders, William Monroe, the winner of that fight. Fight one of those guys. And then eliminate an option and then become the main option.
While BoxRec and the WBC are two separate entities, how is Jermall Charlo ranked number 3 behind Saul and Gennady?
I mean, he won the mandatory belt, or he won the mandatory status for that.
But that's only one belt. That's only one belt. So that means that, you know, in the eyes of the world, that particular body trumps all. And because
it's not about the body. You
and correct me if I'm wrong. Doesn't BoxRec have
WBC's mandatory splash with Jermall Charlo being a fucking freak boxer and being an insanely talented individual? That's what
BoxRec have. What does BoxRec have Horn ranked in the welterweight division?
What do they have Tony Bellew ranked after the David Hay win?
Yeah, I think they take
the algorithm.
You know, they get excited.
You guys like to discredit their algorithm, right? All right, but we obviously like the Daniel Jacobs fight, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm not gonna put a gun to your head and ask you who wins that just yet, but I mean, I'm picking Charlo over Lemieux, over Saunders, over Derevchenko, over Martin Murray, over 5'4" Katsurtis, over Willie Monroe because he doesn't have the power, over Hassan N'Dam because he can't deal with this power and he's been down 6 times from Quillen, over Andy Lee because he's chinny, over Emmanuel Alim because he's small. He already beat Heiland, over Ishe Smith because he's old, over Sam Solomon because he's the, you know, what's that guy's name? Jack from Pirates of the Caribbean. Another
Captain Jack.
Yeah, he's Captain Jack.
Jack Sparrow.
You know, I'm picking fucking Charlo over Royota, Moroda, Toyota, Corolla.
I go that far.
I'm not. Yeah, speaking of not going far, I'm not going to the next name on the list, which is Luis Aries, because it's just too further down. We don't need to go there just yet. Let Aries earn his keep. But you know, if somehow he got a shot, I'm picking Charlo. I'm not trying to be biased.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Charlo doesn't have a good shot against any of those guys. I'm just saying he definitely needs those.
He beats all of those guys. Name one of those guys you think he beats. Doesn't beat.
I think that some of them could present some different problems for him that he kind of hasn't faced again at that division. I don't think you
name one. Name one.
I think Daniel Jacobs. I think Daniel Jacobs loses to Charlo, but I think that Daniel Jacobs.
No. The guy's out of the top 5.
That's the only fight that I don't need you to pick. I mean, you know, Daniel Jacobs will give him a pass and say he's up there with Saul Gennady, you know, but under that, I'm picking him over everybody I named. Over everybody I named.
I mean, David Lemieux, he outboxes David Lemieux.
I think he outboxes David Lemieux, but again, I think fighting a David Lemieux would be good for him. I think it would be giving him that.
It would definitely. It would definitely, but I'm still picking him. Speaking of picking him, I definitely pick my man, Big Baby Miller. And man, what did we learn? He got the win. He's gonna bring some excitement to the heavyweight division. He's going to make good fights, but I can't say that he's ready for the top of the division. I still want to see him versus some other guys like Dylan White, like Derek Chisora, like, and this is off the top here. Who could he take? Oh, Adam Wanaki just knocked out Spielka. It could be a New York, Brooklyn, all battle in the Barclays Center. Wanaki, Polish, Big Baby, the Brashville, Brooklyn.
Look, Wanaki, that win against Spielka looks really nice, but let's be real. I don't think that had to do with Wanaki being a serious, legit threat to the division. I think that had more to do with Spielka being off for almost 2 years after being knocked out by Deontay Wilder. So I don't think that that's a good fight for Miller. I think a good fight for Miller would be, if he could get a Bermain Stavern, I'd like a Bermain Stavern. If he could get the Louis Ortiz, that's fine. Hell, if he can get an Andy Ruiz, that's really good. I'll take that. But there is actually, I don't know that would there be there shouldn't be any promotional issues with that, right?
No.
Well, some of those fights, damn, Steven has been off for a minute, huh? Some of those fights are just not possible. But the Andy Ruiz fight, I can see that. But the rumor is he's got a 3-fight deal with Showtime. So let's think heavyweight Showtime.
Again, Bob Arum no longer really with HBO.
Okay.
So Andy Ruiz is possible for Showtime.
I said I like the Ruiz fight.
I'm not necessarily saying that to you, Ness. Just throwing that out there.
But he mentioned another fight that didn't sound possible. Luis Ortiz doesn't sound.
Why not?
It is possible now that Wilder's out because of the mandatory Bermain Stavern fight. What didn't sound possible was the fact that he did mention Bermain Stavern. So maybe that could help Wilder get television time for Stavern by him having to sacrifice even as a champion and be a fucking undercard to Big Baby versus Luis Ortiz. He'll never do it, but maybe Showtime will buy that card that way if there's double the heavyweights on there. You put Luis Ortiz versus Big Baby, but I don't think Big Baby's ready for Ortiz. I didn't see the power. It took him a lot of rounds to maul down Gerald Washington.
There's a perfect name. All of you guys.
Miller's definitely a worker. He's not going to have that one-punch knockout. He's always going to be born into the guys. That's why I think somebody like an Andy Ruiz would be interesting because I think both of them have, respectful power, but nothing too, devastating. It would make a good fight, mix up some good punches. I think Derek Chisora, I think that's a really good one.
No.
What about Dominic Breazeale?
That's the name.
That's the name people are mentioning.
That's a fight.
But I think because there's a 3-fight deal, I like what I've been seeing from Brazil, especially after the Nunu, or I don't even remember that dude's name.
Aguno.
He's trained by Barry Carey. Oh, fuck. I forgot Joseph Parker's trainer's name too. Barry something. You know that. I think it's Barry, hopefully. But the point is, I don't know, man. I don't know. Brazil, I don't think that's the fight. Like I said, Adam Wanaki, you know what I'm saying? He's 11, maybe a Charles Martin, maybe a Lucas Brown, Andy Ruiz, maybe a Malik Scott.
Whoa.
Oh, no, you can't sell Malik Scott.
Way too far back. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can't sell Malik Scott fight. You might as well get Johan Duapa out here, man. Come on, dude.
Listen. All right, so this is
get Eric Molina from the grave.
All right, so just let me.
Where's Chris Ariola
at? Let me ask my co-host one question. How do we truly assess this fight? There is no denying that this was a common opponent with the heavyweight, one version of the heavyweight championship. So there's an obvious comparison. Now, Wilder did him in 4. When Wilder took 8 or whatever he took for Molina and Joshua did it better, we gave Joshua that credit.
Was the Wilder knockout in 4 rounds? I'm just making sure. I don't remember.
4 or 5, I think. I don't know. You guys are the producers.
I mean, you got the box rec open. Come on.
I have nothing open. You are not willing to do what you're supposed to be doing. Now, let me see. What's his name? Washington? Yes, it was in
5 rounds. 5 rounds, wasn't it?
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not signed in. I fucking hate Chrome.
Anyways, I thought Gerald Washington looked decent in obviously the Deontay Wilder fight, and I thought he looked extremely well in this fight up until maybe rounds 4 or 5.
You're bugging. Extremely well? Bro, it was evident from the first round that he had like.
You didn't like him being on the back foot and throwing those jabs out?
No.
He
I
was
love
doing some
that.
good work.
No, I love that, and it all looked
Did
good.
it become clear maybe like round 3 or 4 that maybe that's probably too far. Maybe round 3. Round 3, it was clear that Miller was going to take over.
No, round 1.
No, it wasn't clear.
No, listen, even though he was using his jab beautifully to open it up and to set up the right hand, loop it around the guard, come under with the uppercut. Sometimes he would do the 1-2, finish with the hook on the 3. He was looking good in that first round, but it didn't matter. It was evident in the first round that he could not affect Big Baby. We said that on Thursday in the prediction, like, damn, I wonder if he's just going to be able to put up his hands and absorb all those shots because of how much mass he has, and that was exactly the case. He walked the man down. It didn't matter how beautiful you looked in losing.
Let me finish. All I was going to say is that Gerald Washington's skill level and talent level did not look bad. He does not look like a bad boxer. He looks like a guy that just got overpowered.
But he doesn't handle punches well. Like his body language, his facial expression. You know what I mean? I hope Shandu doesn't kill me, but he gave me the Shandu look in the ring. He gave me that Shandu look in the ring. Listen, Steven, don't think you're out of this one. I sent you a text. I don't know if you answered me, but we're bringing it to LA because we heard the Superman has been running.
Hey, for the record, I was right about Deontay Wilder stopping Gerald Washington in the 5th. And I think that Dominic Breazeale is totally a good opponent for Big Baby Miller because Big Baby Miller already has a common opponent against Deontay Wilder. So why not have that common opponent, possibly a win against Anthony Joshua? So this way you really are setting up.
I know exactly who to get then, Steven. You get the guy who has the art of bouncing back, none other than Eric Molina himself. It'll be a common opponent with both heavyweights because you got to think.
No, please no.
Wait,
yeah,
Matt, you have to think Showtime. Showtime's giving him a 3-fight deal. You think they're going to put him in there with someone that's going to make him lose right away?
You think Dominic Breazeale is going to make him lose?
It's a possibility.
Breazeale, if you give him Eric Molina first, and then on the third fight, if you give him Eric Molina next, and then after that, Dominic Breazeale.
No, that third fight's going to be a big fight. That third fight's a title fight. I'm telling you.
Eddie Hearn wants to bring.
I'm telling you. That third fight is going to be a title fight against Wilder. I'm telling you.
Eddie Hearn wants to bring Dillian White.
That's a perfectly acceptable fight.
Let's get Dillian White with Jarrell Miller. That's a good fight. They'll grind it out.
And that might be a bigger fight because of the UK market. It may be bigger than Dominic Breazeale.
Oh, you want to bring Baby over there? No, Baby's staying in the US.
I understand that. Just let me finish.
Because Dylan wants to come here. Yeah, okay.
If you let me finish. I don't know really which one's a harder and tougher matchup because I think they're sort of on the same level, Dominic Breazeale and Dillian White. But Dillian White's a bigger fight. It just is. It is naturally a bigger fight. Dillian White's going to shit talk way more than Dominic Breazeale. It's just going to be a bigger buildup. It is.
Well, hopefully, I have so many topics in my head.
So many.
Yep, so many. Like, I just want to remember for overtime. Hopefully, Steven can join us on TBV Overtime, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to know what that is and you want to be a part of it, head on over to theboxingvoice.com and look for that Patreon button or go directly to patreon.com/theboxingvoice. Today would be like episode 16, right?
No, episode 15, I believe.
Really? 15?
I don't.
The point is, remind me to bring up the fact that Steven said today the 4 horsemen.
Okay.
All right, because
are we going to do like a live watching of Game of Thrones on Overtime or what?
No.
It's at the same time though.
No. I haven't set up the bracket for the television in the office yet. So we are going to say final thoughts on Big Baby Miller. I don't want to say semi-impressed. That's bad. I mean, I was impressed. I just expected more. I think I expected what was that guy, Steven, that he fought on Showbox with a D? I think Dennis Donovan.
Yeah.
I expected a Dennis Donovan type of knockout because I thought that's the type of power he possessed. Because
I mean, I think that's just the quality of opponent. I think Gerald Washington is a solid fighter. Gerald Washington has only been stopped previously by Deontay Wilder, and that's the heavyweight champion of the world. I think Gerald Washington is also in better shape than Dennis, because if you look at that Dennis fight, Dennis was really, really tired early, but he was landing big bombs back on Baby Miller. I think that Baby Miller's style really is, he does those, those little tap, tap, tap to the body, and then boom, big overhand left hook to the head. So I didn't really expect him to be able to put on that same type of performance. I held Gerald Washington in high regard.
Agreed.
Still do.
So neither one of you expected a big knockout. Like, that's not what you wanted from.
I expected more of a TKO victory.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's a heavyweight. You always want the big punch knockout from a heavyweight. You always do. But I think we all know that's not what always happens in heavyweight fights.
Fair enough. Sadam Ali made the fourth topic box slot topic. No, fourth topic, whatever. He made the fucking cut. Now, I'm going to ask you guys before we get into his fight, was I wrong?
Were you wrong to put him in the fourth topic box?
Was I wrong to put him in the fourth topic box? Was maybe the
Katie Taylor fight?
Who?
Katie. Yeah, that Katie Taylor fight would have been worth mentioning as well. I think Sadam Ali's interesting because...
Steven, it's not that we're not going to mention it. We also have the headlines today, which is next. But, again, highlighted topics will be the first four. Then in the fifth, we throw in everything else like I think Katie Taylor, unless you really think Katie Taylor is bigger than Sadam Ali already.
I didn't see the Sadam Ali fight yet.
I didn't see the Sadam Ali fight, but I have to consider the fact that the welterweight division right now is shaken out in such a way that anybody who's starting to kind of on the rebuild and trying to, kind of get their name back in the mix is worth noting because, we've been very fortunate as boxing welterweight division has been fighting each other, especially on the PBC side. And, you look over across the street, there's really not much left in terms of welterweight division on HBO. So, and even Golden Boy. So to see Sadam Ali win, to know that he won, it is interesting. But I definitely think that it's only interesting in that.
All right. Well, I couldn't think of anything bigger than Ali. There is another fight with Johan Junior Johan is his name, not Johan. Johan Perez is who Sadam Ali fought yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I chose
very quickly, Rashid Warren also fought this weekend. Just want to make note of that. He got a unanimous decision win over
again. Those will be in the next topic, which is all other weekend results. Rashid Warren didn't win any sort of title, not even a regional one that puts him back in title contention, similar to how Jamal Charlo did. And the story I'm trying to get to in Sadam Ali, because he did win some sort of version of a WBA again, which obviously puts him in a direction, which is interesting because it puts him in the direction of Keith Thurman, while Golden Boy isn't really doing business with Heyman, but is like you continue to repeat. Like Top Rank, they're no longer really doing HBO business. All their fights outside of Canelo are really on ESPN. So now that Sadam Ali got this win on ESPN, which, I think that those that did watch it, I know it was late on ESPN2 Deportes at midnight last night. I don't know. It's semi-controversial, I think. I think my man pulled it away. He kind of gave away some of the teddy Atlas feels he won as well. And, I like Atlas, but I watched the fight. And Sadam Ali just doesn't, he's not taking those punches well from pressure fighters. So I don't know. Interesting that Steven brought up HBO because do you guys think that HBO would be interested in buying Sadam Ali, Jesse Vargas too, because they really have nothing else to give us on that side of the street? Again,
well, here's the problem. There's been a lot of fights that haven't been on HBO from Bob Arum's side of it and Golden Boy's side of it that HBO has offered money to have. So it's not like HBO hasn't been offering for fights like Terrence Crawford and Dongo. I think Bob Arum is on the record saying that HBO did offer something for that. It just wasn't something we wanted. That's why we took it across to ESPN. So I don't know if they will, because again, I think we the public, we the media also really don't know how much ESPN is invested in boxing. And from what we can tell, from the very little information we have, they don't seem to invest in it. So I would argue no, that Jesse Vargas, Sadam Ali 2 is a fight that HBO has no interest in. And that's even a fight that I would find a lot of networks having an issue with. I don't know if that's really a fight that sells anything.
That's easy business. Since both Golden Boy and Top Rank are on ESPN, that's an easy ESPN rematch. You kidding me? They just put Johan Perez. They won't put Jesse.
Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking like Big Daddy ESPN, but ESPN 2, you can throw that on there. I don't think it's an ESPN main event.
I mean, we have to start thinking this way. These guys are not going away, and I love that they're getting all these chances.
I'm not upset with getting television viewing rights or to be on television. You can be on television, but big networks, big channels deserve to have big fights on them.
Agreed.
Little channels deserve to have the more little fights. That's all I'm saying.
So who do you think that Sadam Ali can fight over there on the Golden Boy side at welterweight that maybe the bigger network, like you said, Granddaddy, ESPN would be willing to buy? Or even HBO at this point.
Ali would have to get himself into a position of a big name. So you're talking about he has to get himself to fight a Keith Thurman, a Danny Garcia, a Sean.
If Herrera beats Soto Cross, you think that's sellable?
That's not an HBO fight though. If they do somehow, that's like an after dark.
No, he's saying ESPN. Like, is that on main ESPN?
ESPN or HBO, I said. And they are two different things. But I'm looking at the WBA rankings right now at welterweight. Oh, I don't know if this is up to date. Lamont Peters. Oh, yeah. All right. What about damn.
Lamont would be a headline.
Lucas Matisse. Do you think they would put him in with Lucas Matisse?
That could be a headliner.
Yeah, that'll be an after dark on HBO easy. They could do Sadam Ali, but Saddam father not taking that fight. Andre Rozier is Saddam's trainer. They're not taking that fight. Saddam, listen, I don't got no fucking hair on my tongue. I said to Andre, I said, yo, Andre, could he take a punch? He's like, come on, man. He got caught, but we're seeing more and more that he don't like to get caught. And who the fuck should like to get caught? But you need to react a little bit differently. I'm not saying that last night he reacted bad, but he gets on that back foot, and he doesn't necessarily get on the back foot the way that Washington did in a paced way. He's more on I'm on my bike, I'm running, I'm jumping, I'm darting out. And when you're escaping that way, your defense is bad. Your hands are kind of like flag poled out, kind of fencing to hope that you block any incoming shit as you're jumping out, a la Broner. It's just not good. People always get caught with lunging left hooks or right hands that close, not close, I'm using the wrong word, with right hands that cut off the ring. So why do that? But, I just don't, top welterweights, like, look, he's in that WBA rank. I mean, yeah, Thurman goes back to KOs for life on this kid.
I think the Soto Cross Herrera winner makes a lot of sense for Sadam Ali.
Yeah, but we shouldn't be thinking like.
I think the problem with that is that's hard to sell. That's hard to sell because if you a style like Sadam Ali, you have to put him against a big puncher.
Well, don't make it a headline. That
you have to sell. That's how you sell that based on conscious.
You make it the third fight from the top on the ESPN card. That's what you do.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, definitely. That's what you.
Because if it's not the main event, then you don't have to worry about it selling. You don't have to worry about it because it's not the main event.
All right. Listen,
think of this: if Sadam Ali Herrera was the third fight on a triple header that had Crawford and Dongo as the main event on ESPN, that would be good. We wouldn't be complaining.
And I don't mind Crawford. I don't mind Sadam Ali Karas. If
I
Karas,
don't think that either. Yeah, that's a good one.
because I like Karas. Karas is
You can put that in LA. Let's be honest. Karas sells in LA.
That's the type of style that Sadam needs next, though. He's not ready to be Keith Thurman's mandatory, so he needs a Karas, a tough ass Mexican that isn't that skilled, that a boxer should outbox, but you have to have power to keep his ass off you, and you have to have a chin, or Karas will knock you out. And I think that's what Sadam Ali. We need to test his chin one more time. Coming off of that Vargas loss, yesterday's performance again, he didn't really he hit Johan with right hands, but I never felt he established dominance. Like, he didn't give his opponent that fear. Like, man, this guy's gonna crack me. Johan kept coming. It was ugly. There was headbutts. It was a lot of clinching, a lot of jumping, bullshit. But other headlines, Katie Taylor came to the U.S., got her debut, got the win. And, Matt, guess what I found out?
What?
That ever since she turned pro, she's been living in Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 hours away from me. I didn't even know. I got to see how much of a star she is, see if she's worth going that 3 hours to good old CT. Or maybe I get Amber Kuntz on the job. She's our Connecticut person.
Yeah, do that. That'd be fun. We'd love to get more content of Katie Taylor. I think she's a rising star in the sport. And obviously she has the skills and talent to back it up. I mean, I think any boxing fan, regardless of their negative connotations or thoughts about women's fighting, they will like Katie Taylor. I mean, you can't watch Katie Taylor fight and go, she's bad. She's lacking of talent, of skill, of speed, of athleticism.
How do you know she's bad, Matt? How could you assess her and make her, all this if there's no competition?
You can see talent based off of a lack of competition as well. I mean, there's the eye test. The eye test. I mean, are we really arguing? You know what the term is?
Yeah, no, I am arguing.
The eye test with flying colors.
I am arguing.
Every Earl Spence fan that was talking for years about how this guy passes the eye test, they need to look at Katie Taylor and go, man, this girl passes the eye test.
Yeah, we need some competition is all I'm saying.
I agree with that. I agree that there's a lack of competition. And I really don't have an answer to that because the sport doesn't have deep.
What weight is she?
Shit. I think she's lightweight.
She's mean.
Yeah, she just fought at 133, and I just started fishing around, seeing if I could find a division or see if I could find anybody else in that division based on other girls that I'd heard of. I know of a fighter that would have matched really well against her, but she's way too light in terms of style-wise. It would have been a nice matchup. Melissa McMorrow, some fans out there might have heard of her.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with Melissa McMorrow, she's all the way down like at 110, 112. So that's a no. What was that weight of that girl? Damn, remember we saw her on BKB? I think it was on the undercard of Rosado versus Stevens, and that girl. Damn, I can't remember what her name was. I think it would have been around that same weight.
And here's the reality of the situation. And I know people that are both supporters of women's boxing and detractors of it really don't talk about this. But this is the beginning of the movement for women's boxing. We saw it in women's MMA. We're seeing it now in women's boxing. This is going to be a 5 to 10 year process till we start seeing deep divisions. Like, that's just a reality. That women like Clarissa Shields, Katie Taylor's are really going to be the pioneers of the industry of women's boxing. Yes, we obviously have Ann Wolfe, Layla Ali. We have those people, Christy Mack, obviously. All those female boxers were almost those pre-pioneer stage. It was so embryonic into where the sport can really handle it. Now it's getting to the point where you're getting big-time promoters pushing it. You're getting the Eddie Hearns of the world, the Bob Arams, the Oscar De La Hoyas. You're getting these guys to really push for women's boxing. And now we're starting to get big-level amateurs in the sport. Like, it's all a process. So, yes, it's not great right now, the climate of women's boxing, the depth of it. But in 5 years, in 10 years' time, it will be. And we have to start giving them airtime. We have to start pushing them. Because if we don't push the industry, there's going to be no money in it. So then women aren't going to get into it. And they're going to start leaving boxing and go to MMA. That's just reality. That's why you have Heather Hardy's of the world. Heather Hardy going to Bellator and getting paid more for one fight, her MMA debut, than any other boxing fight. That's why we don't have a strong industry
Oh, doggy. She got paid more for her MMA debut than one boxing fight because she has a boxing resume and a boxing name. The same reason that your boy Conor McGregor is getting more than he's ever made in one MMA fight.
But hold on. Are you acting like women's MMA does not have more money invested into it than women's boxing?
I'm not saying that it doesn't.
If you agree with me that there is, if you agree with me that there is more money invested into women's MMA, then the option to go over there and make more money is more available. The reason why you don't get women MMA fighters going to boxing is because there's no money in it. You can get Conor McGregor going to fight Floyd because there's money in that. There's no money for a Joanna Jędrzejczyk to go over to boxing and fight there. There was no money for Ronda Rousey to go to the.
Who the fuck is that guy?
And fight boxers over there. There's money in the UFC. There's money in MMA. That's why.
Any other headlines, Matthew?
One thing I saw, and it's not like huge news, but it's casual news. I know you're gonna be interested in this. It's your man's Chris Eubank Jr. flying to Las Vegas to help Floyd Mayweather train against Conor McGregor. What do you think about that?
I think iron sharpens iron and steel sharpens steel. So, Floyd knows he needs someone the size of Conor with the speed and awkward punches. Eubank kind of ticks all the boxes, not to mention, Eubank can push Floyd because of the size, the speed, and activity. Something that maybe he's going to see from Conor McGregor. Since Conor thinks this is a half a fight, a lot of his stamina that he would normally use on the ground or wrestling, trying to slam, he just has to generate to his arms to throw output. I don't know. You know what it is? I mean, remember, you said you think he's going to Superman punch Floyd.
I never said that.
Any other headlines, Matthew, before we get out to these phone lines?
Before we do get out to those phone lines, I do want to make some mentions because it was bothering me not being able to come up with the names of the women fighters that would be good matchups for in the future. Also, I don't want Monster Peace to kick me in the head later for not being able to bring this up. So right now, pound for pound from Ring Magazine, they have their lightweight number 2 pound for pound woman in the world is a lightweight named Delphine Soon. She's from Belgium. She's 38-1 with 16 knockouts. That's the same division as Katie Taylor. Also, the girl who I couldn't remember before, I believe her name is Layla McCarter. Also a lightweight, 38, 13 and 5, 9 knockouts. Lots of experience.
Give me ages,
that
bro.
Girl,
don't be giving me these girls with 30-something fights. They're probably 30-something years old, and Katie Taylor gonna cut through them like a hot.
Yeah, they are like in their 30s, like the Delphine Pursoon.
One young Ali that could do it in his 30s, man.
I don't know how old Amanda Serrano is, but Amanda Serrano, she's at flyweight. She could probably jump up and be able to be a pretty good fight.
Matt's such a hater.
But addressing the serious substantive point that Steven pointed out, yeah, it's going to have to take like Amanda Serrano. It's going to have to take a catch-weight fight against somebody that's more of a star to really get.
Serrano's in her weight?
No, it's going to be more of a.
She's at featherweight. Serrano's at Amanda Serrano's at featherweight, and Katie Taylor, she just fought 133. She could probably get down to 130. They could probably meet at there.
Serrano should go up then. But even though she's the champ, listen, those are the headlines. Let's get out to the sponsors and get this one done.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
We're going out to Australia. To everybody's favorite Australian.
No one can stop me, really.
Oh, there's a king croc right there. This croc has enough power in its jaws to wake my head right off.
You're gonna be the legend to become a legend.
gonna stay because I'm beautiful.
You're a legend to become a legend.
Hey, TBV fan. Morning to everyone from all the way here from Australia, bouncing on a kangaroo. Yeah, look, quick recap of the weekend. I need to eat some crow for the Gerald Washington pick. Crow's there. Yeah, look, Washington. He had some. I think I don't remember the exact round. I think it was round 6, I believe, where he actually the round where he had Baby Miller hurt. I didn't think he'd be able to hurt him like that, but I thought he'd have a couple flashy moments like that, a couple more flashy moments like that. I thought it'd be a little bit more competitive. I mean, it was competitive to a certain extent, but I just thought Washington would do a little bit more. I thought he'd have a couple more of those flashy moments and throw a good few combinations, but he didn't, and he lost. So there's my crow. Man, obviously, topic of the night, Adrien Broner versus Mikey Garcia. I've been saying it for I don't know how long now. Adrien Broner has never been the fighter everyone has thought him to be, except for myself. I've always thought him to be very subpar. Like, I mean, his biggest win was a razor-thin decision with Miscellaneous. Besides that, who has he really beat that we consider top caliber or close to top caliber? No one. So I said it in my prediction that it's going to be a sweep. Mikey's going to knock him down, which he didn't, but he had him hurt a couple of times, and he's just not a competitive fighter. I don't think he could beat anyone close to the top 5 in the 140. He couldn't beat Crawford. I honestly don't think he could beat Ndongo. I don't think he could beat Matisse. If Matisse is still lurking around 140, I think Postal would be a tough fight for him. I just don't think he's the fighter everyone thinks he was. I mean, he's got some flashy. I think Ness did better in his sparring with Sean Porter than Adrien Broner did in his fight with Sean Porter. And Ness has no experience. That's like a bit of an exaggeration, but still, like, legit, he's a nobody. I don't want to see him fight anymore. I've never wanted to see him fight, and I'm just glad Mikey got the win so he can get some quality fighters fighting better quality fighters. But that's my call, and thanks for everything, boys.
All right, Alex. Man, you know what's interesting? That Broner before this fight, let's say, where'd you have him ranked at, Matt? In the 140-pound division. Was he number 2 to you?
Yeah.
In the 140?
Yeah.
You even had him over the 2-time champ? The 2-belt champ?
I can look past maybe what you have in terms of accolades for the sanctioning bodies, and then I'll look at what you are as the fighter, what you are as the boxer, and view you from the eye test, and I'll rate you more from that. Broner, to me, could always beat Ndongo. He could always beat Victor Postle. He could always beat Lucas Matisse. Those type of opponents, Broner, I think, could beat. Those aren't A-level guys that I just named off. Nobody I just named off is an A-level guy, and you can't make an argument that they are A-level. Mikey's A-level. Sean Porter's A-level. Marcos Maidana, at that time, became an A-level.
Well, damn. Because Mikey, I mean, he put himself in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, I would say so. You could argue maybe put himself in the number 1 spot.
With Mikey's performance, does that put some sort of weight on Crawford's shoulders to stay in that division to face him? Because, again, he's clear number 2, and now you're trying to be as bold as to say that it could be argued he's number 1.
Yo, I don't think it does, because if you're Terrence Crawford, you probably think the way Mikey Garcia is thinking, which is I don't have to wait for anybody. I don't need to you don't have to wait for anybody if you're Terrence Crawford, especially because you're going to be unifying the entire division. If you want to go up from there, you have every right to. You just cleaned out your division. Mikey, I don't know if Terrence Crawford is going to like go, running to Mikey Garcia. Hey, give me a fight. I don't see that. Especially if he's going to be the unified.
So you don't think 5 years from now they're not going to do a Mayweather on Crawford and be like, oh well, Mayweather never fought Costa Zoo. Oh well, Crawford ran out of the division when Mikey was the beast there.
Yo, by the way, Justin DeLoach just got knocked down pretty viciously.
That's what he get for arguing with Erickson Lubin on Twitter, talking about he better than Lubin.
Anyways,
supposed to prove it this fight.
Back to Low Stevie's.
I hope he gets back up because I actually like Deloach.
He got up. He got up. It's the end of the round. He got up. I forget what he was arguing exactly in the exact point, but I remember it was kind of ridiculous, Steven.
Let's go to some callers then.
No, very quickly.
Yeah, mumbo jumbo head.
Terrence Crawford lost his money fight when Pacquiao lost. The second Pacquiao lost, Terrence Crawford's money fight and his step up to 147 vanished. It vanished. He needs that
That's
fight.
not true.
Hold on. He needs that fight or that level of fight. That level of, if I beat this guy, it validates everything. It validates your legacy. Mike Garcia is the closest thing to that. That's probably the easiest to negotiate as well. Thurman's going to be harder to negotiate. Danny Garcia is going to be harder to negotiate. All these bigger fights, the more meaningful fights at 147 are much harder to negotiate. Mike Garcia is the free agent. Mike Garcia has gone on record saying that he will fight anyone with any promoter, with any network. He does not care.
Matt, those edibles are strong.
Dude, Bob Arum would hold a grudge against Mikey. Bob Arum would totally have to do that.
Bob Arum probably thinks that his boy can beat the other boy. Come on.
Can I get a word in here? The Crawford-Pacquiao fight is still there.
No, it's not.
Half the world.
It's not there.
Matt,
it's not there next. Let's be honest. Hold on. If Terrence Crawford beat Ndongo and Pacquiao had beat Jeff Horn, we could very well get Pacquiao Crawford next, but that didn't happen.
Matt, are you forgetting that the Horn fight is controversial? That at least
are we forgetting that ever since that loss, no one has really been talking about Crawford Pacquiao?
Do you forget that at least half or more people thought Pacquiao won?
It doesn't matter. The narrative changed. The public narrative changed.
Crawford Pacquiao and Crawford doing to Pacquiao what he needs to do definitely. Saying that Pacquiao doesn't pass the torch to Crawford is like saying that.
Whoa, that's not what I said. What the fuck you?
That's what you're saying.
No.
How is that big fight gone? Crawford Pacquiao is still a big money fight.
I think now Pacquiao would never take that fight. Pacquiao would never take that fight. Pacquiao would never take that fight now. He would never take the Crawford fight.
Now he's
Jeff fucking Horn.
Now you're changing the rules of the game because first you said that he doesn't have a fight. Now you're bringing in negotiations saying Pacquiao won't accept. I thought it was
that's
just
what I mean. Yeah.
I thought it was just an argument of Pacquiao of Crawford now not having a big fight, and I just presented you one.
What, the Pacquiao fight that's never going to happen now?
Why won't it?
Because there's no momentum towards it. There's no way you can work it. Not next. You have to rebuild Pacquiao again.
Okay.
They were rebuilding Pacquiao from the Mayweather loss to the Crawford fight, and it failed.
You might be right, Matt. You might be right. I'm just not as, unforgiving as you. I understand that.
I'm not unforgiving. No. What I know? Are you saying?
Can I finish talking? I understand that Mauricio Herrera and Jesus Cero Carrasco are about to fight on August whatever. And probably together they have 20 losses. And I'm cool with that. I'm still going to watch it. So, I don't want to fall into that, I don't know, whatever it is that you're drinking that tells you that Pacquiao is done and the Crawford fight isn't big.
I'm not saying that. What you don't seem to understand what I'm saying. That ever since that loss, Pacquiao will not take another risky fight. The riskiest fight he's ever going to take again is a Jeff Horn rematch.
And
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying I would not watch Pacquiao Crawford. I'm not saying they could not sell that. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying, my words are very specific here, that Pacquiao would not take a risky fight again other than a Jeff Horn rematch.
All right.
Okay, Matt, let me ask you. If he would have
what about since Crawford is busy with Ndongo, Pacquiao can obviously do his rematch and then the two meet. And Pacquiao won't get robbed this time. What? I
don't think.
Bad. I don't see how it's bad.
If
anything, that was the best thing that could happen, so they could do that Australian 50,000 business again.
Yo, when Pacquiao lost to Timothy Bradley, he didn't immediately do a Bradley rematch. He went on with his life as if he had won the fight. So
that was 5 years ago. He's not allotted that time because of he's of his age.
You're right. So if he would have won that fight, what do you think he would have been doing next naturally if he would have beat Horn? What do you think naturally he would be doing next?
Beat Horn, and like I literally just said this. If he had beat Horn and Crawford had beat Ndonga, we would have had Pacquiao Crawford next.
So if you're Pacquiao, how many more big fights do you have left, and how many more opportunities do you have to make big money?
It doesn't matter when you take a bad loss like that, and it's not even a bad loss in terms of.
No, that's what I'm saying. He didn't take a lot of
knock. Oh, let me finish. Pacquiao looked bad. Everyone, regardless if you thought he won, came away with that fight saying that Pacquiao looked old. And if you think Pacquiao and his team, who have been historically avoiding that Crawford fight, now have suffered a very tough loss that they now have to get back, and they're going to have to rebound and get the momentum back on their side to get the Crawford fight. It just doesn't make sense. We're more likely to get Pacquiao retiring after the Horn fight than a Crawford fight. And we have a ringer, by the way, so we should probably get to him.
Jabron. All right. Jabron, you're on speakerphone. I don't know. What do you want me to do here? Do you want me to go back to you? You ready? Jabron? All right. He's just listening for the day. So, we're going to New Jersey. Talk to us.
No. Yeah.
Yo, last night's fight, let me tell you something. Give me my crow, first of all. Yeah, I'll happily take this crow because I think Mikey Garcia, he definitely had more. I think Broner had to fear a bit of his power because I think that's the only reason why Broner started being a little tentative. He started backing up to the ropes, even as they were talking about it. I thought Broner, if this is a fight where he tried his best and he's supposed to be so focused, I think he's going to be a gatekeeper at this point, man. And unfortunately, it's either this fight, and I don't know who he's got left, but I tell you what, Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia is a good fight on the way to the winner of Spence and Thurman. So I'm just throwing that out there. Big Baby Miller, yeah, like I said, he needs to fight Brazil. I've been saying that for all week, I guess. Who else we got? Charlo, listen, I told you, I'm big on the Charlo boys. I think they can really, really box despite whatever shenanigans they got going on outside of the ring. I saw a move where he stepped in with a jab and then he literally hopped back and then he threw a right uppercut. No, I think he threw a left uppercut and then a left hook. So just seeing him do things like that, regardless of who he was in the ring with, that takes timing, that takes preparation and practice. So for him to be able to do that, I was quite impressed to see that. I didn't see the Sadam Ali fight. And, I'm going to watch this David Ortiz. Let's just get Victor Ortiz fight. That's how much of a who the fuck is that guy he is at this point. I'm calling him David Ortiz, but I'm going to watch the Ortiz fight tonight. I don't know if that throws him in a mix of anything, but that's my call, fellas.
All right, thanks for calling in. It's funny, man. These guys are in the chat 24/7. I see Sadam Ali there saying he's never heard of Deloach. You in the chat every day.
Well, I've only seen one Deloach fight live. What other televised cards has he been on except for his last one, which I even forget what card that was?
You should have watched that one then. Shoot yourself.
I watched it. I'm just saying.
You're a host. Look for him. We going to the bully in the UK. Talk to me.
Yo, what's good, my people, man? I thought I'd just quickly speak on the fight. As you know, man, there was no way I was taking no crow. But in terms of Broner, if anyone saw the fight, did you realize he used the pull counter a lot, but he didn't throw the right hand? And a lot of us talk about how he didn't actually let his hands go, but the real question is why. And all of my UK fans know that when Carl Froch fought George Groves for the second time after he got knocked down in the first fight, he said himself that he had a psychological barrier that was literally stopping him from really letting his hands go. And in the build-up to the second fight, he had a sports psychologist that he spoke to like 3 times a week. And obviously, we all know how it went. And I feel like psychologically, Broner has never been the same since Maidana beat him. And he's never had that chance to avenge his loss. And he needs to see someone about it if he's going to continue, because there's a block when it comes to a power puncher and him letting his hands go. And now, that guy, about bullshit, man. I'm out.
Yo, I disagree with that only because I think that Broner is the same since the Madonna fight, because I don't think that he really was going to be doing what he was doing against smaller opposition against these bigger guys. I think he's doing the exact same thing. It's just not enough where before it was. But we do have KM Star on the line.
Bring him on.
KM Star, you are on.
Hey guys. All right. Well, I'm glad I'm not eating crow, though I actually was predicting Garcia would at least stop him, like would take him late. You know, it was just weird to watch the fight actually, because as the last caller said, Broner just really didn't want to move his hands, and I'm sure it's because of what Mikey was doing, right, making him pay wherever he took any chances. But if he had opened up earlier, either he would have lost earlier, but at least he would have made given a better account of himself, I think. So, you know, I don't know what AB stands for, but I think it means that A and B level fighters will beat him. So, you know, I don't know why we're elevating Maidana up to the level of an A fighter. I don't think that's true, actually. I think Broner beats C level fighters and loses to A and B level fighters. It's just a shame, but that's what I saw. And with the heavyweight matchup, Miller versus Washington, man, Miller doesn't have one-punch knockout power, right? Am I wrong in thinking that? He's just a really big dude, and it's hard to get him off you. You can't push him back. You can't do all this other stuff. And I'm just curious how he'll fare, as you guys said, against other competition. I think Brazil is the right next fight for him, because one thing Brazil has shown is, man, he will, like, you need to stop him. Like, you know, he's not going to stop getting up. He's not going to stop coming at you. You have to stop him. So I think that's exactly the right fight to gauge exactly where Miller is. And, you know, I would favor Miller, to be honest with you. I would favor Miller. I want to get a little better feel for, like, his quality and definitely a better feel for where his punching power really is. Is it just 300 pounds of weight landed on a man, or is there some real pop there? And actually, like, really quickly, the Charlo fight, I mean, I was in that crowd like, stop this damn fight. Like, I've never seen anything so weird. Like, the man's legs looked so bad. I mean, you know, even bloodthirsty fans were like, get that guy out of there. Stop it. Corner stop it. And I guess it's what everybody suspects, is that guy needed that paycheck. He was already injured, and he was not going to leave. And I hate to say it, but it doesn't look good on Charlo that it was that hard for him to stop that guy. It really doesn't. That was not a good reflection on Charlo. Otherwise, though, I mean, Charlo looks every inch the middleweight, and even like super middleweight that you'd expect. It's amazing how big he is, and I don't even know how he ever made 164. I'm always thinking that. The middleweight division has some good challenges ahead for him. You know, very excited to see him fight again against someone who's actually at full capacity, who can actually walk. But you know, I'm not trying to diss Charlo. I really like him. I'm a big fan. But this was just an unfortunate thing, and it would have been better for Charlo if he got him out quicker. So I think it's entirely possible that Charlo carried him a little bit. You know, he probably saw himself his legs were a mess. I don't think he wants to kill a man. But since his corner wouldn't stop it, Charlo finally was like, okay, you know, let me just get this guy out of here. I'm not sure what it was. So, you know, I prefer to believe the latter, knowing how good of a fighter Charlo is. And really quickly, man, you guys lost me with all the theories about whether Crawford and Garcia will ever happen. Will Crawford ever get Pacquiao? I mean, I think we have enough going on that things are really interesting right now that we don't even need to speculate. We just need to let these guys fight. The Ndango fight's a good fight. Whoever Garcia fights next is going to be an interesting fight to me. I think that needs to percolate a little bit, Garcia versus Crawford, if it's meant to be. I don't think we need to rush that along. I just think we need to let these guys keep looking good, keep showing their quality, and that fight will build. Because I do think that fight needs to build more, and that's my call.
KM Star, thanks for calling in. Let's go out to Jabron, Steven, and see if he's ready.
Jabron, are you there? Jabron.
All right, we just wanted to do our due diligence.
I tried. I unmuted him. He didn't pick up. Sorry, Jabron. If you're hearing this on the playback, just remember when you do press 1 as a ringer, we are going to get to you, so make sure you stay close to your phone.
We're going out to the Kansas City Mac. Definitely probably going to have a crow attack.
Yo, what's up, yo? Yeah, you know I'm eating crow. It is what AB got taken out like he was supposed to. He wasn't attacking. Some people call him Chavez Jr. Get him on out of here. I don't want to hear about AB. You won't hear me talk about AB again. He's finished. Go fight Pacquiao. Gatekeeper. I'm out.
Kansas City Mac, thanks for the check-in. We're going out to Larry, San Francisco.
Hey, big ups to the boxing voice. Hey, that was Virgil Hunter from Kansas City, Nestor, not the other dude who you said it was. Hey, peep this. Big ups to Mikey Garcia, who we all knew going into the fight was going to be the more technically sound fighter. But what he proved to be also was the more intimidating fighter, the bigger punching fighter, the stronger fighter. And I didn't see that coming. I did see a thorough and complete dominating victory, which he provided, but the manner in which he gave it to us was surprising. And I want to see him back in there right away with somebody even better than Broner so we can put it on them again, too. Last thing, just a quick education/correction. Jamal Charlo is not dissing Tommy Hearns and all them. He said the real Tommy Hearns because that's Tommy Hearns' Twitter handle. That was actually a sign of respect, not a diss. And last thing on that, he's not getting that Triple G or Canelo shot for at least 18 months. So he's got to fight somebody else after this. If Triple G beats Canelo, which I expect him to, he's got the IBF Mando. He's got the WBA Mando. He might try to mess around and fight Billy Joe something. You never know. So there's going to be no rush to get in there with Jamal Charlo. So let's get him back in the ring with another good 160. Daniel Jacobs would be awesome. But until that happens, fellas, I'm out.
Larry, as always, thanks for calling in. We got Texas in the house.
JD, motherfucker.
There's a lot of things I like to do, so just try to get on my games on box, man. I don't know why they gonna call me, but I'm a 54-pounder. But I have a brother that's at 160.
Yo.
JD,
man, Broner. Shit chilling, man. I don't know where Broner goes from here. I forget the guy's name that we all gave Danny Garcia shit about. Fuck, maybe he can go fight somebody like that. What's the guy's name?
Sammy Vargas.
Rod Salko, Samuel Vargas.
Rod Salker. He need to go fight somebody like that, man, and get a W. I got to thinking. I was texting Jay from Orlando last night. I was like, man, is he on some Zab Judah shit? Like all the talent in the world, but just like I got to thinking, man, like who in their prime, Zab Judah in his prime or Broner in his prime, who would be better? Like, is he on Zab Judah's level? Or is that disrespect to Zab Judah?
Well, Zab Judah is probably the last undisputed champion, so I don't know, man. It would depend on how highly you rate Zab Judah. Broner never was undisputed, but Broner has won 4 titles in 4 different divisions. But, I mean, that could be argued, right? Wasn't there a lot of vacants?
Yep.
Yeah, didn't he win one against, like, was it Eloy Perez? Did he win one, or was that just a defense?
I don't even know, but I remember that fight. That's when he used to look good, for sure.
Yeah, but as far as Charlo goes, man, I was watching that fight and I was like, damn, this unfortunate. He's not gonna get credit for this fight, but I started looking at it like, well, he got the W, so he can move on. As far as who I want to see him fight next, I don't want to see him wait too long, but if he can get somebody like if they can do business with Golden Boy and get what's the guy, David Lemieux. If they can make that happen, then then make it happen. But as far as Danny Jacobs, man, I honestly that's a fight, man. You already know. I don't ever want to see that fight because Like I don't know how my emotions would be. Like, damn, like I like both of these guys. But Mikey Garcia, man, shout out to that damn dude, man. I did not know he was that damn good. I gotta give him props. I don't think it was man, Broner, that dude, man. I got so much shit to say about him. Like, we will never know what the real Adrien Broner even fucking acts like or box like. You know what I mean? Because I think that dude got so much talent, and it's just a shame because, you know, this dude if he keep up with this shit, man, he gonna be on pace with for Emmanuel Augustus record and shit. Just because I can't see him fighting like
JD. Thanks for calling in. We're gonna go out to Jay Will in Chicago.
Oh, very quickly, sorry, Jay Will. We gotta go to Mr. Bobby Arum, the ringer.
Hey, and also for the record, I totally think that Adrien Broner would have beat Zab Judah Prime versus Prime. I think Zab Judah would have gassed early, and Adrien Broner would have came on strong at the end.
Oh, and very quickly before we go to Jose, just to add on to that fact, obviously Zab is a Hall of Famer or a future Hall of Famer. With the way our Hall of Fame is, Broner might be a Hall of Fame fighter. I know that's crazy.
Go find the nearest two-story building.
Ray,
you better jump ass first. Hurt your fucking brain and rethink that.
Arturo Gatti is in the Hall of Fame. Ray Boom Boom Mancini is in the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying Broner is a Hall of Fame, but I'm just saying
Rocky Balboa.
I'm just saying Rocky. I'm just saying Broner has a better legacy than I think a lot of people are saying right now. Being that level isn't really that much of a knock. You don't need to be an A level to be in the Hall of Fame at this point. Just saying. But let's go to Jose. Play that intro.
Popping all this champagne, popping all this rosé, getting money like Jose, chain code Norway. Shorty wants that foreplay. I'm like, no way. Gotta rock it like Coldplay, killing it. OJ, getting cheese like Green Bay. Call me Aaron Rodgers. Hopped out that Dodger, dodging them coppers. My boy got them choppers.
Yo, boys, what's going on? First of all, hello to my dear friend Steven. Good to hear you back, brother. Congratulations on finishing university and all the best, and hope to hear you as a regular here on the Boxing Voice going forward, bro.
Thank you very much, man. I fully plan on continuing to come back and do these flagship shows.
Well done, man. Good to hear. And that's, I think, what JD was. He was struggling for a name. He was looking for a showcase, that showcase fighter, that easy fighter that people are talking about. I think it wasn't Rod Talca, but Zach Kramer. I think that was an easier win. So I don't know if that's the guy he's thinking. Anyway, just wanted to talk about
inside joke
about the promotion yesterday, man. I think it was a Sorry?
I said that was an inside joke.
That was an inside joke. Anyway, you know what? I think there's definitely levels to boxing and to promoters, and I take it as a compliment when Matt calls me Bob Arum, because if you look at the way Lou DiBella is promoting these boxers, man, he's doing them a total disservice. Like, look how smart Bob Arum was to go and get Ndongo, like get him set up for Crawford, right? Had Lou DiBella not have all these boxers just fall in his lap and not be like a lapdog, he'd actually have to do some work, and he would have gone out and gotten this fighter and set Broner up to fight him, and then make Broner win the belts, and then have Broner fight Crawford for this unification fight, and it would be worth way more than what he just did. You know, he cashed out Broner. Broner still made a good payday, but that's it, man. That's Broner's last biggest payday he's going to get. So I think DiBella is just doing a horrible job, man. Wasn't able to sell out the venue. You know, didn't plan that out properly. Ness had mentioned that people were
12,000.
Like he doesn't.
Wait, 12,000.
Yeah, but Ness,
that's a good number for that venue, bro. It
you don't know that venue.
It puts them up there. It puts them up there with all the greats, and the only other fight to do great numbers or you know, way better numbers and only by 3,000 is Danny versus Thurman. So that's still good numbers.
But Ness, doesn't that by logic tell you that there's bullshit and it's fishy as fuck? If you're getting a cold call a day before a fight that's already sold so many tickets, people trying to sell you tickets, Doesn't make sense to me, man. It sounds like to me like they're
they want to make sure they sell. No. I
They
think
must
they
sell
want
out.
to. I think they want to make sure they sell every ticket.
Which they didn't do, but they still had a good number.
Yeah, but they still have to
I don't
hire
think
people
so.
to
They
cold
had to
call if you
decrease
want to
the
sell
call.
them. Matt, wait a minute, Matt. Wait a minute. Listen to his logic. Hold on, Jose. We will give you more time. Basically, he's saying the venue holds, let's say, 18,000, but they see they only selling 12,000, whatever, 100. So it's not in their best interest. It cheapens them to fucking cold call to try and sell the other.
Because imagine you sell another 4,000 tickets. That's another. I mean,
Exactly.
depending on what the ticket pricing is, that's a lot of revenue right there.
Based off a couple of chicks working 8 hours a day calling people on the phone. I mean, this guy calling guys that have already been to the Barclay. That's where they get the numbers from people that have already bought tickets.
No, that's probably just a call center that they like not rent out, but they like hire. Like that's the Barclay hiring a call center to do that.
Well, not hiring. I mean, no. It's within. It's internal
Oh,
through
is it?
Barclay.
I didn't know.
Yeah, like they'll call you like, "Hi, I'm Jenny from the Barclays."
Let me explain to you why I think it's a failure. First of all, because they reduced the prices down from like $300, $400, $500 to $100. Now tell me how you'd feel as a fan if you flew all the way there.
They rather get something rather than nothing, Jose.
Worth $100.
Glass half full. They rather get something rather than nothing for them tickets.
So what happens with the person that went and bought that ticket for $400 at face value? Now that same ticket they're giving away.
That's capitalism.
Bullshit, man. The guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Jose,
man.
it's the same reason.
Give a fuck about what he's doing.
Jose, it's the same reason that every time you go to a fight, it's the same reason you go to a fight, you wait to the last minute to buy your ticket because you already know the game. Won't you just start schooling your casual friends?
The UFC has done similar numbers in that arena. Other promoters have had a hard time selling at that arena as well. I don't understand why 12 to 13,000 is bad. That's not bad at all.
No.
That's good numbers.
Those are really good numbers for that arena. That arena is smaller than, let's say, Staples Center.
I think Danny did 13. He held the record with 13 with maybe Morales or Malignaggi, and then Thurman trumped that. Thurman Porter did 12. Broner Garcia doing 12, not welterweights. Man, that's a fucking good number. It's a good number.
Not for a belt. There's no title on the line.
Sorry, it's just statistically, Jose, numbers don't lie, and we have plenty of Barclay. I mean, pull up the numbers for Khan fucking Algieri. He didn't even do 12. You crazy? No, Khan Algieri
you're
didn't
gonna
do
hear
it.
there's people that get comp seats. They say that there was
Crawford did like 7,000.
2,000 comp
Bro,
seats.
listen to me. Everybody wants to say that promoters are comping out tickets. Maybe they are, maybe they're not. The bottom line is
every event has comp tickets.
The bottom line is we don't care about comp tickets. We care about how many people were in that arena, and it was 12,000 plus. Every fight has comp tickets.
I don't know, man. To me,
Mayweather McGregor is gonna comp tickets, man. You don't think Mayweather McGregor gonna comp certain stars so they can have certain celebrities on that pay-per-view? You kidding me? Certain people got tickets
Again,
already.
that's another fight that's it's not priced properly, man. I'm just saying a fight like that should have been at the StubHub Center, man, with all the Mexicans there, everyone hating Broner.
You know, the StubHub Center fits like 3,000 people.
Also, Mikey has a pretty decent following in New York.
Hold on. You really hold on. They sold 12,000. You said no. They should have gone to a 3,000 seat stadium.
He doesn't even know. He just hears things
That
on
was the stupidest thing you probably have ever said, Jose.
Imagine how electric that atmosphere would be, man. And then at that point, you think
trolling.
He's trying to exclusify the event. He's trying to do what Mayweather McGregor and Mayweather Canelo and all these dumb big fights do and X out the true fan. You're trying to X out the true fan. You want to sell tickets at 5,000 a pop, man. Get out of here, Jose. You tripping.
No, you guys are just fanboying on Ludabella, man. I think he's making a mockery of the boxing, man. Back in the day when he had
maybe
the blind
he
and he had
is
Sergio
Jose.
Making a mockery of the boxing. Shut the fuck up, Jose. Come on.
Maybe he is, Jose, but you presented a poor argument.
Very shitty argument.
I'm sorry.
No, man.
But I'll tell you what.
People will agree. He's not.
You are a boomerang, so we'll see you back, baby.
Regardless.
You've yabbled enough.
Okay,
Let's get
give me some
to
crow.
info. Hey,
Give me some crow. Though. Before I leave, you got to give me some crow. I love you, AB.
Let's go out to Info Joe.
Mr. Info Joe.
This portion of the show we call In the
Mr.
Know,
Info Joe.
presented by my brother.
Yo, you know it ain't no show without Info Joe. LA's finest is in the house. What up, Steven? What up, Matt? What up, Ness?
What up, Joe?
What up, Joe?
Can you put barbecue sauce on my crow, please?
For sure. They called you they called you Info Crow in the chat. Damn.
Hey man, this is a crow-tasterous day for me, man. Yo, I should have went with my first mind and picked Mikey. I was the same guy to pick Granados to beat Broner because I thought he was about that bullshit. But I thought by Mikey moving up in weight, and I never seen Mikey face a style like Broner, and I thought Broner, by going to Colorado with no distractions, we would see a hungry fighter that will let his hands go and try to win. This shit reminded me of the Porter fight. Didn't let his hands go. I think he had more of a weight camp than a training camp because I didn't see a game plan at all, and everybody in the corner was just yelling at him. I think that kid from New Orleans, Regis Porgare, will beat Broner right now. Mikey Garcia looked great, always relaxed, poised, poker face. I give him an A+ for timing, accuracy, a good measuring of distance, and a great punch selection at the right time. Mikey is not like a wow type of flashy fighter, but his basic technical style looks phenomenal though. He's a pound for pound fighter. I would like to see him fight the winner of Ndongo Crawford next. And for Charlo, I would like to see Daniel Jacobs next, man, or Lemieux fight, or a Chris Eubanks, but I think that fight won't happen. And for Big Baby, man, throw him in there with Amir Mansour, somebody like that, you know, to see where he's at, because he just beat Kaufman. And when Mikey and Crawford move up to 147, that will be the real death row division. Thurman, Spence, Crawford, Mikey, Porter, and Danny, all killers. Can't wait to next year when they move up properly. That's my call. Peace. And hit those thumbs up. You're listening to the #1 pound for pound boxing podcast in the world. Peace.
Info Joe, man, I hope you got time to join us on Overtime later on tonight. I know you're a patron, and we're going to make some good announcements, and obviously want to get your take on certain things. We're going to go out to the Skype machine. We have a new caller. Sir, where are you calling in from? And first-time caller, obviously, I'm going to go ahead and play this first-time caller intro. You just jump in, let the world know your name and where you're calling from.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Yo, man, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, my friend.
Thanks, man. This is Maurice from Bucharest, Romania. Hey, how you doing?
From Romania. Oh, man, this is beautiful. Yeah, first time we got a call from Romania. Perfect. So talk to us, brother. What were your thoughts on this weekend's fights?
Man, I think Jermall Charlo at 160, he looks really good. And I saw last night that Bubu Andrade call him out again. So I hope that fight happens soon. And I think Garcia was just in a totally different league, man. Broner is just a gatekeeper, and that's it, nothing more. And Garcia is just more fundamentally sound. He's out of the two. He's the most fundamentally sound man. He has great fundamentals. That's it, man. Peace out. TBV.
Totally agree, man. Thank you for calling, man. You really made my day, letting the world know that we reached all the way to Romania. Shout out to you and Lucian Boutte, eh? What about that? Let's get out to some other callers here. We got Marcus in D.C., Washington. Talk to us.
Yo, with my take on Jay-Z. Yo, these fight prognosticators is sinners. Yo, I respect the losers. I respect the winners. Yo, check this out. All week, niggas been taking Broner and Gerald Washington off of shit that they lost in. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody see the Broner fight against Madonna and said, damn, he's fucking Madonna up. It wasn't until Madonna divulged later that he hit hard and everybody ran with it. But nobody saw the fight and looked at it and thought Broner was fucking Madonna up. This was just Madonna's confession later. Number 2. So we got him out the way. He done switched 3 trainers. He been with Mike Stafford, Barry Honey. We got Kevin Cunningham from St. Louis. Broner need to take a year off from boxing. It's going to be very dangerous for him because he seems to get in trouble. But in reality, if he wants to save his career, he needs to step away from boxing for a whole year. Don't even consume himself with anything. Relatively stay in shape, jump rope or something, but walk away from boxing for a while. Get your thoughts together. Get your mind together. Figure out what you're there for. Number 2, I'm glad Jamal Charlo beat Heiland instead of Triple G, because if Triple G would have beat the dude, they would have been dogging him. But glad Jamal Charlo, because that's the type of dude you're supposed to fight in that point in your career. So I'm glad he beat Pinocchio my damn self. Was it me or did somebody knock Heiland out in the locker room first and then send him out to the fight? I don't know. He was on, his legs was on stiff the whole time. Glad we got him out the way. Number 3, Big Baby. I mean, you know, Big Baby's Big Baby. He's still a prospect. Let's just keep it 100 what he is. He's a prospect. A fight with Dylan White may be dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So you need to figure out what he needs to do. Far as something else that y'all had said. Oh yeah, far as I didn't take Jamal Charlo's shot as a shot against Tommy Hearn. He just saying like amongst these dudes out here is cat. I'm the real Tommy Hearn. Like he's saying this nigga, I'm the real villain out here. Y'all not. And he one of the few fighters who really has a real old school trainer. Most of these other dudes are trainers who like got a boys club, a little boxing gym, got one supreme fighter and took them all the way up. But Ronnie Shields really got some fighters, some real fighters. He came up with some real trainers. And when I see Jamal Charlo fight, regardless of what people thought about what he should have did Heiland, he is technically dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Like, he is fucking dangerous. Like, everything that you think, okay, I'm going to do this to him, he just turn that shit right back on you. Like, nope, I know that shit. You can't do that on me. Do something else. Wop, pop. Nope, you can't do that on me. You know what I'm saying? The whole time, stand behind the stick. So, my exit thing going out is, when have we ever said somebody was technically sound and then pick them to lose a fight? When did technically sound become not in style? You know what I'm saying? Mikey beat the shit out of that boy, man. DC in the building. I'm out.
All right, Marcus. Great call. Donald in Richmond. Talk to us.
What's up? I had the Jarrell Charlo win. I think that's too easy of a win to just a Triple G fight. So I see it happening like right away. You know, I feel like that Charlo, he needs, in my opinion, I feel like he needs to get a Lemieux or a Jacobs. If he could beat a Lemieux or a Jacobs, even Lemieux would be an easier fight because I think, honestly, Jacobs might be able to beat him. If he could beat Lemieux in an orderly fashion, then I would be like, okay. But that Heiland fight, I can't look at that and say you ready for Triple G because we all know if Heiland would have went in there like that with that leg with Triple G would have laid his ass out in the first round before even 2.5 minutes. That would have been a done deal. Heiland just went in there for that payday. We all seen that he had a injury, you know. And as far as the Miller and Washington fight, I mean, I was thinking that if Jarrell was going to lose, I was thinking Miller might really knock him out because it seemed like Miller had power in his previous fights. But seeing him with Jarrell, it tells me now that Miller, he doesn't really have that real good power like that. It's just that he was fighting lower level competition. You know what I mean? And I think the fight for Miller would be great, would be Dominique Breazeale, because you also got to remember, Dominique Breazeale, Jarrell, like, we all friends, so they all hang out together just as well as Jarrell and Breazeale and Charles Martin. They all train together. They all hang out together. So I would see a Breazeale and Miller fight. But honestly, Breazeale can take a fucking punch really well. We've seen that on how bad Joshua beat him and had to take that long to get him out of there with all those punches he took. And Breazeale has got power. I think Breazeale would knock Miller out. Honestly, I think he would.
You also pick Washington though.
You know what? I didn't. You know what? I didn't know what to say. I just was thinking to myself, like, okay, if Jarrell go out there and put up a good fight, he might could get a decision. But when I started watching the fight, I was like, fuck, his punches is not even taking the fucking effect on Miller. You know what I mean? And I felt like if Jarrell's punches was more effective and took effect on him, I felt like when Jarrell came out in the 6th round and he like really tried to go for the knockout, if Jarrell had more punching power, he could have got that. He could have probably got a knockout, but I felt like he needed to go to the body way more. I feel like that whole fight, once he went to the head on him and seen that wasn't affecting him, he should have just went to the body the whole fight. And even if the fight still went the way he went, Miller would have looked a little bit more sluggish in the end. He wouldn't have looked like he had that much energy. You know what I mean? He should have went to the body more on him. That was a big dude. He needed to go to the body. But Garcia, man, he's the truth. You know, he really did. He did his thing. Broner is just a gatekeeper at this point, is what I think. And I think a great fight for Broner would be Matisse. But if he don't come in here right with Matisse might knock him out.
Donald, thanks for calling in. We're going out.
We have a ringer, Stainless from Nashville.
Straight to the point for those with attention deficit. I'm so repetitive, so I gotta repeat. Stainless from the streets to the deep. I'm coming with that heat. All you need to know about me, I'm coming with that heat.
Yo, TVV, what up? You know what I'm saying? Steven, good to see you back, or hear you back anyway. Matt, Ness, you know what I'm saying? Good to hear you again.
What up?
Man, I just want to get straight into it, man. I don't know if this makes Broner a gatekeeper. Like I said, I think Garcia just is that much better of a boxer than Broner is. You know what I'm saying? To the point where, you know, he might not have knocked him out, but it made him keep his hands at home because he didn't want to take that punch to the face. You know what I'm saying? That anytime he let his hands down, Mikey was right back in his eye. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you saw Broner, the right side of his face after that fight. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't exaggeratedly swollen, but it was definitely swollen up. You know what I mean? So, and the shots he was delivering to his body, man, like I've never really known Mikey Garcia to be a body puncher. So to see him attacking his body like that, I mean, which is what you should do when people are up in that peekaboo style. You know what I'm saying? Either that, or, you know, try to throw some uppercuts in there, which is another thing that he did. And that kind of catch and grab or catch and shoot offense defense that he has, man. Like, I really saw a lot of good stuff in Mikey Garcia, and it's no knock against Adrien Broner. He's still a young guy. He can get himself together and come back. You know what I'm saying? But it was definitely a great performance from Mikey Garcia. As far as the Charlo fight, I like Charlo at 140. I would like to see him fight maybe a Lemieux, because I think Lemieux is definitely a better idea of what a middleweight is, as far as the top tier of the middleweight division. And he's not going to get that from any of the other names mentioned. And I like you, Ness, pick Charlo to beat Lemieux, but I definitely think that it would give us a good gauge of where Charlo sits before we rank him number 3 behind Golovkin and Canelo, even though Canelo shouldn't even be ranked number 2, but that's just my opinion. That's all I got, man. So like I always say, man, please make sure you push the thumbs up and share this in every episode of the Boxing Voice podcast. And I'll talk to y'all probably next Sunday or something, man. My daughter's graduated from boot camp, so I'm going out to Fort Jackson, South Carolina for that, man. So I'll see y'all soon.
All right, Stainless. Well, definitely safe travels and congratulations once again. Your daughters continue to make you proud, my friend, and happy for you to share all those moments with us, obviously. We're going to go back out to the callers. We got some more alumni online.
Thank God that niggas seen another day.
It was good, Boxing Voice. Don't have to eat no crow. I went 3-0. And congratulations to Charlo and Miller. But with Miller, I don't think he could beat Deontay Wilder, like fighting the way he fights, because all Deontay Wilder has to do is just set him up with the jab and just throw big bombs, because he just comes right at you. And eventually Wilder will get him out of there. And I would love to see Charlo Lemieux. And with Adrien Broner, I don't see him beating, like, even the mediocre guys. Like, I can't see Broner beating Luis Collazo. I would pick Collazo to beat Broner. I would pick Lucas Matisse to beat Broner. I would probably pick Berto to beat him. You know, maybe even a Josecito Lopez. I mean, he might beat him, but there's a lot of fights that I think Broner would lose, even against the mediocre guys. Even like if a Robert Guerrero came out of retirement, like, I would probably pick Broner to win that fight, but I wouldn't be too confident. You know what I mean? So I just don't see things going well for Adrien Broner, man. And congratulations to Mikey Garcia. Nothing he did in there surprised me. I just couldn't believe in Broner. You know, Broner does this all the time, says that he's ready and he's better than ever and all this crap, and he never lets his hands go. I don't think Broner will ever let his hands go. So, you know, congratulations to Mikey and all the winners, and keep up the good work, Boxing Voice.
Ali, thanks for calling in. As always, we're going out to Suleiman.
Before we go,
yeah, how you doing?
Suleiman, give us 1 second.
No, we go to him.
Suleiman, come back in 1 second.
No, we can go first.
Suleiman, you're on in 1 second.
How you doing? How you doing?
What up?
Yeah. So listen, that Jarrell Charlo, he did pretty good. He exposed that Heiland guy. I mean, the greatest fight that Heiland had was when he knocked out Matthew. But besides that, the guy, his skill is eroded because he wasn't fighting no high quality opponents, and it showed against Jermall. Jermall was in top form, and that guy had spaghetti legs all night, and he got knocked out. Finally, he's off the rankings because they were thinking of putting him with Golovkin, another world champion. So finally, he's off the rankings, and we got a high quality fight on the come of Charlo there. And then we also have this fighter that stunned the crap out of me. This Baby Miller with his humongous chest. He was all over Jarrell Washington. People are saying that Jarrell could have done something better. The problem was that the guy was exhausted, man. The guy has a huge chest, man. That Baby Miller, he was all in. That he was expending too much energy to keep him off, and he also was admiring his work. He threw a couple of combos. Look at the effect. He used to knocking out C-class fighters. Now he stepped in with Baby Miller, and Baby Miller was a sturdy dude. He kept on cranking that right hand. I'm surprised Jarrell lasted that long. I mean, he was getting hit with right hands all night. So, I mean, that kid impressed me a lot in that fight. I really like him. I hope they nurture his skills a little more. But, he's a little too green for Deontay right now, but they could build him up a little more. He's a great fight. Then, Adrien Broner got to go back to the basics in his boxing. I mean, he's a four division champion, great. But I saw him trying to be too cute against Mikey Garcia, and that cost him the fight. He's doing a shoulder roll. He's doing that little that sputter jab. He should have just accumulated more points, build more points, go for the body more. Mikey looked a little soft on the body. I mean, he's also real big. I don't know why he just wasn't loading shots to his body, working that body, tearing up that body, and maybe it would have been a better fight for him. There should be a learning experience. If I was him, I'd go on the video and watch the flaws of him. His greatest enemy is Adrien Broner. He's the problem. He lost that fight because he didn't train properly for that fight. He was all too overconfident. He thought Mikey was gonna sputter out, and he didn't. I wish him. I would have been tagging Mikey in the body, make him feel that power that he has, and then take the punches upstairs. Bring the punches upstairs. But besides that, it was a great show. I enjoyed it, and I hope to keep putting good fights like that again. And you guys have a great night.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in.
Very quickly, before we go to Milkman.
2 points.
Dos
Boom.
One, shout out to Victor Ortiz because he just got the knockout victory. So kudos to him. Second point is
Felicidades, Victor.
Yeah, I don't speak Spanish. My bad. If we have Adrien Broner fight Julius Ndongo, Felix Diaz next, does he beat them? In your opinion, Ness and Steven? I want you guys to take on this.
If we had what?
If we have Adrien Broner versus Julius Ndongo next, or Adrien Broner versus Felix Diaz next, who wins?
I think that Adrien Broner beats Felix Diaz in a tough fight. Again, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Broner does finish fights strong. I don't know about Julius. I think again, Julius Ndongo. I think that's a good fight for it. I think that'd be a tough fight for him. That'd be one of those fights where I don't think I'd be able to pick the winner at this point.
But Julius,
not because
after Terrence or before.
Yeah, that kind of has a lot to do with it. But I think if it's before, I don't know. It's still kind of hard to still tell how real Ndongo's power is because he did get a lot of fame off of that one punch knockout. But then he goes the distance with that British kid. So I don't know. I think it's tough to I know you're laughing, man. It's tough to gauge Ndongo's power, and I think that would have a lot to do with how well he does against Broner.
I feel the same way, Steve. I don't know if he's got power because I don't know who the fuck Edward Chernosky is. Sounds like a vampire or Dracula or something.
Do you think Mikey Garcia beats those two guys?
What two guys? Ndongo?
Yeah, Ndongo and Felix Diaz.
Didn't he do that already? And he's about to do the other one?
Who?
You talking about Mikey? No, we're talking about Mikey Ness.
Mikey.
Terrence, though. He said, do you think Terrence Crawford beats him?
No, I said, do you think Mikey beats those two guys?
I think Mikey beats. I think
Mikey beats both two. I think Broner beats both two, but he could also lose to both. I think Travasky. I mean, if your boy's power, Julius, is real, that gives Broner problems because he throws a lot of punches. I watched this.
Ndongo's long. He has a good jab,
and he fights from the outside. He throws the 1-2 a lot. He circles the ring, so he gives him problems. Probably beats him, and then Diaz is also another little worker. Probably beats him. Listen. Broner already proved to it. That's it. I'm never picking him again. I mean, I ain't pick him this time because I wasn't sold. Like, I know, I mean, he does.
You think we get a Broner versus Lamont Peterson? You think we get Broner Peterson?
Oh, Peterson.
They're going to give us Broner versus anybody. Look, man, he's still going to make a good name. Like, if they say him versus Collazo next, sign me up. Him versus Berto next, sign me up. Him versus Josecito Lopez, sign me up. Him versus Lipinets, sign me up.
Victor Ortiz?
Sign me up. It don't matter. I like Broner, losing or not.
I don't mind the Victor Ortiz fight. He just got a knockout. Gonna be bad.
It's sellable because they both got names.
Victor Ortiz needs like 3 more. Who was his trainer? Was Julio?
Doesn't matter. You just need a name with Broner.
No, it was that strength conditioning coach that always it's been with Ortiz for years. He's now his full-time trainer. Yeah, he's now his boxing trainer.
That's never good. He's always been running over that dude. He's been his boxing trainer before. But Victor Ortiz, I don't want to see him go straight into Broner yet, man. That kid needs to rebuild. He just had a kid. He's finally going to take boxing seriously. He fired his agent, or let his agent go and said he's going to do boxing. So he doesn't want his kid to, not know that he can't be the champ. So he's going to try and be the champ. But he needs like 3 good training camps, 3 good tune-ups.
So you think at least a year? You think Ortiz needs at least?
I think you need an year and a half for your birthday.
Broner versus Chris Algieri.
That works, Algieri, but I'd rather give Algieri to Victor Ortiz.
I like that.
I think Algieri beats Ortiz.
Algieri,
and then there goes Ortiz. And then there goes Ortiz forever.
Algieri needs a beatable fight. I mean, he deserves it. Let's go back out to the phone lines. But Algieri does deserve it. He had a couple of tough fights, and now he's on some I'm a nutritionist type shit.
I told y'all a long time ago, the Kirkland will go down 3 rounds.
Right hand, down goes Kirkland. Strap me up.
Next, I got milk, baby.
Yeah. I'm back, man. So I knew Garcia would win. Garcia's just been more consistent. Just inside and outside of the ring, way more than Broner has been. So I knew that was going to play the determining factor. But one of Broner's biggest problems, man, is that he can't adjust when things don't go his way. He lets people out working. He shells up, he lets you get off, and he tries to counter you coming in or stepping back. And so when that doesn't work, he doesn't adjust, man. He just continues to do the same shit each round. Maidana outpunched him, but Maidana had a lower connect percentage. Porter outpunched him, but Porter had a lower connect percentage. Malignaggi outpunched him, but Malignaggi had a lower connect percentage. And you better believe, if Paulie had any semblance of power, he would have won that fight, because I scored it 7 rounds to 5. Paulie is just cursed with brittle hands, and he can't keep guys off of him. Broner doesn't set traps. He just basically lets you punch him, he shells up, and then he tries to counter you. He doesn't use his footwork to put himself in a good position. He just gets stuck, man. He just does the same thing, and that's his biggest problem, man. He'll win against a guy that he can be. That he can use that first line of attack with. If he can be successful with what he wants to do with plan A and doesn't have to go to plan B or C, because he doesn't have a plan B or C, he'll be good. But you better believe, if he faces anybody who can outdog him or has more skills than he does, say like a Maidana who outdogged him, or a Garcia who basically boxed him, he's going to be in trouble, man. He's going to be in trouble. So I'm sure he can get some wins here and there, but on that elite level, he's going to have a hard time staying at the top. So we'll just have to see. I'm out.
Milkman, thanks for calling in, brother. I'm happy to have Steven back. I'm going to tell you. You could tell he's back, Matt. You want to know how I know he's back?
Why?
Because the next person's name is Slug.
No, actually, I had that. But okay,
Yeah,
I put that name in.
Matt. Hey, but Matt, come on.
But you know what? It's all right.
You know I've been making those names. Come on, Matt. Don't start.
Fucking out of here.
Slug in Baltimore. Talk to us. Been a long time, player.
What's happening? What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. Happy to see you back. Still listening, huh?
Man, I always listen. I just haven't been on that. I've been busy, but I got a couple things to say about my man Broner, man. He, like a previous caller said, first of all, my opinion, he needs to fire his corner. He needs a new trainer. He needs a new manager, because they was not advising him in the corner when he was fighting last night. He need to make some adjustments. He kept going there with that high guard, and Mikey Garcia started going through the guard, around the guard, hitting him with uppercuts. I'm like, really? I know his corner had to see this. He was moving his feet for a minute, but, he wasn't moving his head enough. He had a good jab. I gave him the first round because his jab was working. But then he got gun shy, of course. It just kept with this, laughing at Mikey Garcia, but you laughing your way to an L. And he need to just start all over, fire that corner, man, and just get serious about boxing, because he still has a lot of talent. And to me, he exposed a couple of things with Mikey Garcia. He's exposed to that jab that Broner had, but Broner just wasn't throwing it enough. Actually, to me, he out-jabbed Mikey.
I agree.
Went to the body a couple of times, but not a lot. I was watching that fight, and I said, well, Mikey went to the body a couple of times, but he was headhunting most of the time, because I remember previous caller said he liked the body work that he did, but he didn't do a whole lot of body work because Broner kept his high guard up. And then he started playing on the ropes again, and that's how he got knocked out with Maidana. And I said, well, man, forget this. He just needs to fire his corner and just start all over, because, he didn't even do the shoulder roll like he usually did. he just stayed in one position with his high guard the whole fight. And I said, you know, this shit is not going to work. And by round 7, Mikey Garcia started punching through the guard, and it was just pretty much the same thing through the whole fight. And I said, man, I'm about to turn this shit off. And, you know, if I had to put money on this fight, I would have bet with Mikey Garcia, although my heart wanted Broner to win because I like the dude. You know what I mean? But it didn't pan out that way. He still got a lot of talent, a lot of boxing left in him, and he's young. So I'm not gonna count. I'm not gonna, you know, count the guy out. So, you know, that's my call, man. And you know, kudos to the Boxing Voice, and I'm gonna always continue to listen to you guys. So, you know, I'm gonna hit you up on Instagram. Man, y'all have a nice evening, man.
Slug, man, thanks for calling in, brother. Good to hear you still around, brother. Let's go out to the Atlanta with the GT Kid.
What's going on, Boxing Voice? I'm gonna go over a couple things, man. I'm gonna hit a lot of highlights, but so I was watching this Heiland fight, and man, this dude's leg was messed up before the first bell, man. And he went out there to get his payday, but you know, on the first knockdown, he was falling down because his legs were no good. He lost his balance, and he ate a left hook on the way down. But he wasn't hurt, you know. He couldn't stay up, and I mean, you could just tell in the first couple of seconds of the fight. I was looking at his footwork, like what's he doing? But you know, his legs were messed up. So Charlo needs to face somebody else at middleweight before he gets a shot. So, you know, like somebody else said, a Lemieux or Jacobs, something like that. In regards to Adrien Broner, I mean, I really think somebody else hit it right on the head with the ego is a fragile thing, man. And I think that Maidana loss did something to him, you know, and he's been gun-shy somewhat ever since in a lot of fights. He was real gun-shy in that Sean Porter fight, too. He just wasn't very active. He didn't throw his hands a lot. And, I mean, that's what really has carried Broner through his career is his punch accuracy and his punch power. His punching power has really been a thing that's carried him through the lower divisions. And, I mean, he's got to get back to that. If he just lets his hands go against Mikey, he probably slows down Mikey's output because Mikey's going to keep his checks at home, you know, because he knows there's going to be some return fire. But once Mikey sees, you know, there's not a lot of return fire coming back, you know, Mikey went to work. I mean, that's how it works. I mean, so it's a smart fight. You know, Broner's got to go back to scratch, and, you know, he's got to really check himself and see if he wants to still be a boxer. Oh, man, there was something else I wanted to hit. Oh, Big Baby Miller. Big Baby Miller he's got to lean down, man. He's got to lose some weight. He's got to work on his conditioning. I mean, if he faces top-tier guys, he's in trouble. He's not, and like someone else said, he comes straight forward, you know, so, you know, there's not a lot of magic there in terms of what he does. I mean, his condition is not great, though. But it was a good fight. It was entertaining. You know, I'm looking forward to seeing him fight again. Man, there was something else, too. Can't even remember what it was. I'll hit y'all up next time, man. That's all I got, fellas.
GT Kid, great call, brother. Thanks for calling in. Let's go out to some alumni.
Yo, first of all, let me say, I don't pay Showtime to see you all there, not even putting a goddamn motherfucking effort. If I want to see two motherfuckers just fight, I pick up a fight with somebody in the street. Don't need that shit. You don't love that sport, my dude? Just move along. Gone. Fuck you. Next, what a great show. Thumbs up, donate.
Hey, yo, I'm coming with some low energy tonight, bro. Sacro 9. Hit me with that shit. Hey, yo. God damn, Mikey Garcia, bro. I didn't know you were a full fucking trained Jedi Knight. The fuck, my dude? I didn't know when this dude gonna throw that fucking... Because the thing was that people putting a lot of blame on Broner. And I understand, like, a lot of people saying that, yeah, he should change his fucking corner because it was like 3 motherfuckers telling his shit at the same time. So that part I understand, you know, but it wasn't about that really. He was almighty. He just fainted to death. Fucking Broner couldn't stand on his feet. Every single thing, that nigga just like popping on some weird angles and shit. He looked like a fucking frog there for a second. Anyways, that shit with Charlo, that's a fucking disgrace. How the fuck they gonna have this handicap dude there? Joe, this is crazy. The dude had tape. They told him to take him out, and they sent him out there to fight too. What's up with that shit? Ain't that strange? And they got doctors there? Hello?
Well, we explained that in the beginning of the show that the commission knew because they seen him with tape on his knee. But remember, it's no different than Sergio Martinez. As long as a fighter could pass the test before the fight, he's allowed to fight. So
you're telling me that in professional boxing, you can go there handicapped like that? There ain't nothing wrong with that.
I mean, you saw it last night.
I'm having it in your brain, man. So I guess we talk about that shit fucking another generation when somebody really give a fuck. Anyway, the other mismatch too.
You mean the same athletic? The same athletic that allowed Miguel Cotto to have something, not Miguel Cotto, sorry, Margarito to have something in the gloves potentially. The same athletic commissions that allow fighters to come in with broken hands. Like this happens. People can get away with shit. Like you're talking about a government institution that really isn't fully funded in every state. That doesn't have.
Business, baby. They have hold on. Listen, bro. When we're talking about this type of fucking money, we're talking millions of dollars.
But the athletic commissions aren't making millions of dollars.
This is the highest level of the sport.
You do realize that, again, the people that are making millions of dollars aren't in control of the medical boards. Do you understand that?
All right, fuck that. What's up with the girl, man? The girl from Ireland and shit. They got this girl fighting a girl with fucking 8 fucking losses. And the best of the commentators at Showtime can come up, oh, nobody has stopped her before. So that's this. Man, we have to have some type of competition. This is fucking oh, man, this is just crazy. Just don't make no fucking sense to me, man. Nobody really talk about that shit. Just like, we just want to...
It's her 6th fight. It's her 6th fight. It's her 6th fight. Do you expect women to come in from the amateurs and fight for world championships?
What a record?
Oh, no?
Man. What a record? What a fucking record?
Because that matters.
That ain't even fight. What the fuck you talk? What the fuck you mean doesn't matter?
No, it does matter. It does. She has 6 fights.
It's not even fight.
That was her 6th fight.
Yo, yeah, and how many losses does Orlando Salido have? Orlando Salido's still fighting for championships. Come on, man. Losses only mean so much, especially when someone's just starting their career.
Look at every fighter nowadays in the first 10 fights. And then come back and talk to me, Georgie. Because they all do this. They all do this. Every single one.
When you go to the highest level, when you're on Showtime, when you go on these cards, fucking losses gotta mean something, brother. This is unacceptable. You guys, I don't know what the fuck.
It was online. It was for free. It was for free. What do you mean? What do you mean? It was on show? Yeah, it was on. It was for free.
YouTube
and Facebook.
I don't care. It's for free. What
it's not on Showtime.
Talking about? I want to
it was on the telecast.
Why so hard to comprehend this shit? Who's the best in the world, based in good opposition?
It's her 6th fight.
Understand about that? Why I gotta come here and blow a fucking brain bustle, man?
Because you're dumb. Because only dumb people need to yell like that.
Listen, you're talking about that somebody needs 3 tune-up fights. You don't know shit about boxing. There is no such a thing as a 3-0 fight. 3 tune-up fight doesn't exist because the tune-up fight is before the big fight. So you cannot have 3 other shits in the fucking line.
You know, it's very hard to understand you, Georgie. So when you yell, it's even harder.
Look at the chat. They're calling you an idiot.
You got a tune-up fight is before If you got a tune-up fight, it's before the big fight. You cannot have.
These aren't tune-ups fight. These are get your feet wet fights. These are learn pro boxing. Look at Michael Collin. Look at Shakur Stevenson. Look at every other amateur that's come out from the last couple years. They all take these fights. What are you talking about? No one's fighting championships. That's Lomachenko. That's one guy in the history of the sport. No one's ever done that other than him, and he lost. He lost. It was a lesson learned for everyone else that you don't do that. Get the fuck out of here, Georgie. We're moving on.
Shut up. Yo, Georgie is always negative. Mr. Glass half empty. They gave you a fight on YouTube that you otherwise wouldn't get to see. We don't get to see the development of a fighter between 0 and 5. And even though the fight is absolutely free on YouTube and Facebook, it's still bad. I just don't understand why people like him, you know, they're not going to take that long walk off the short pier. Why don't they just watch another sport?
And he had to watch it on YouTube, but he was acting like it was on his TV Showtime.
Yeah, because he wants to spread a certain agenda. So he has to make believe it's on Showtime so it could sound worse. Let's go out to the 214. First time caller, 214. 770-214. Texas?
Yes, sir. I'm here.
First time caller?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. I'm going to go ahead and play this first time caller intro. Let the world know your name, where you're calling from.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
This is Mel, and I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. So first off, guys, I got 2 points to make. I mean, doesn't Broner kind of remind you of Chavez Jr.? I was just thinking this. I mean, leading up to the fight, Chavez Canelo, he went to go live off this caveman lifestyle somewhere. I don't know where the hell he went. And you have Broner do the same thing. And then when it came to the weigh-in, both came in, lighter than what the weight was supposed to be. And what so that kind of evened the odds a little bit for both fights. And once the fights happened, it was kind of the same result. And I look at both guys. I think Broner's mouth got him some fights, and Chavez last name got him some fights. But other than that, their careers kind of is a carbon copy. The same scenario, the same lack of discipline on both guys. But anyways, as far as I look at Adrien Broner, what do you think about these two fights? One, I got Ricky Burns, which that fight could only sell in the UK or somewhere in Ohio. They can't do that nowhere else but those two places. And what about a guy like Brandon Rios? I mean, wouldn't that be a good fight for both?
I want that Rios-Ortiz fight, but they don't even know. They're both acting like they don't know why it didn't happen. But they both got wins, so maybe we're back in it.
Yeah, I could see maybe Rios versus Broner as fight, but obviously not Rios versus Mikey Garcia, just being that, Rios was in that camp and is actually really good friends with them.
And I'm just thinking back at, I think it was, I don't know if you guys remember, but wasn't Broner supposed to fight Guerrero back in 2013 to 2012, one of them years? And I'm just thinking at 140, I mean, would a Broner beat Guerrero at 140 back in 2012, 2013?
Hard to know. Hard to tell, man, after we've seen all this.
Exactly. I was thinking, knowing what I know now, I don't know, guys, but that's just what I wanted to get off my chest. And thank you guys for having me. You guys got the best show, and I'll be calling again.
Well, thank you for calling in, my friend. What did you say your name was?
Ismail.
Jezreel?
No, it's Ismail. It's Ismael.
All right, brother. Well, thank you for calling in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Get that notification, bro, because we do a ton of spontaneous shows. Obviously, Thursdays and Sundays are our flagship days. You could catch us here every Thursday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. But if you subscribe to that YouTube channel, you're going to get this notification letting you know that we go on every day with the latest Hot topic. We're going to go out to Marlon in Brooklyn. Talk to me.
What's up, Ness?
What up?
I just want to say congrats to Charlo for his debut win at 160. I'm hoping he fights another fight before he gets the shot at Triple G. Someone like Peter Quillen or Monroe Jr. or even Gabe Rosado. I think that would be a good way to build up the Triple G fight. I don't think he should just go straight fighting Triple G right now. As far as Broner,
Marlon.
I think he needs to get a new. Yep.
Why you sounding like Canelo gonna lose?
Yeah. Well, it's not even that. I heard the WC belt is not even on the line.
You're right. Canelo doesn't want it. If he wins, it's not on the line. Triple G put out a statement yesterday saying, regardless of what Canelo's saying, I'm defending all my titles that day.
Oh, wow. Well, either way, I still think Charlo should take 1 or 2 more fights before fighting the winner of that fight. But I don't know. I don't think Canelo wants that. Canelo wants Charlo, though, because he should have. If he did, he would have fought him at 154 already.
But Marlon, if Canelo beats Golovkin, how could you say he don't want Charlo? He just beat the boogeyman. Now you're trying to create a new boogeyman?
Well, I'm just saying he should have fought Charlo by now in his career. I feel like he fought Liam Smith over him. He fought Khan over him. Charlo's been calling him out for a couple of years now. But anyway, in terms of Broner, I think he needs a new trainer. He should have did that like 5 fights ago. I think his team is just also making bad mistakes. They put him in with Madonna when they should have gave Paulie a rematch. They put him in with Garcia when they shouldn't gave Granados a rematch. He didn't take the Pac fight. He didn't take the Rock Nation deal. Like, he needs a new team and he needs to make better decisions. Right now, he's in a bad spot because there's no one elite I think he could beat. There's no one right now elite he could beat. He can't beat Thurman. He can't beat Garcia. He can't beat Spence. Right now, he needs to go and fight Ortiz or Rios or Ricky Burns or Guerrero, someone like that. Someone that he could actually look impressive or decent against.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in, Marlon. We're going to go out to Skype. We got Jacob. Talk to us.
Yo, Ness, what's up?
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Chilling. I just had to call in because I pretty much called that Garcia Broner fight dead ass. Said it was going to score like the Porter fight, 112, 116. I mean, okay, to be fair, man, I had the UFC going at the same time. I didn't actually pay that much attention once I realized it was one-way traffic for Mikey Garcia. So 112, 116, I don't know. Did Broner really win 4 rounds?
Not on my card. 2 rounds on my 2 rounds on my card. Me being generous, giving him the 9th. I was being nice. In my live fight chat on Patreon, I said, this is a round we could probably give him, but I won't argue with someone that wouldn't give it to him. But two judges gave him 4 rounds.
Yeah, I remember an interview with Kathy Duva, she said, when a guy gets beat less convincingly in a round after being beat a bunch of rounds in a row, you just feel like you got to fucking give him one. And I feel like those are the rounds he won on that logic right there. Yeah. Anyway, Big Baby. Let's go. Big Baby. I'm loving Big Baby right now. I want to see what he can do. He can move so damn well for 300 pounds. He scoots and shuffles so well. It was awesome. And yeah, loving it. Fun card. Here's the thing with Broner going forward. He can fight Alak Verdiev. He can fight these guys. He can still pack a venue in Cincinnati and make several $100,000 and just do that until he doesn't want to do that anymore. I don't think that'll ever stop being an option for him. Now, yeah, I think he's done at like world level, but I like the previous caller saying Ricky Burns. That'd be a great fight for Broner to look good in. Anyway, yeah, great show, fun card. I love all the people eating crow, and yeah, good show. Thanks, guys. That's my call.
Jacob, thanks for calling in, brother. Appreciate that as always. Where we left off here, we got the 214. We're going out to the Natty 513 Cincinnati. First time calling in. 513. Am I right on that? Cincinnati. 513. 513.
Yeah. Hello.
513. First time caller.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it. Play the first time caller
Yeah.
intro. Let the world know your name. Where you calling from?
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
It's Anthony from the Queen City, Cincinnati.
What's going on, brother? Heartbroken? You're from Cincinnati. You from the Natty, man. I mean, Broner's hometown.
Yeah, I actually knew him growing up, which is, one of those things. I was there in the Barclays as well. Actually, that was me that sent you the message on Instagram too. But yeah, so I was there. Electric atmosphere. It was pretty good, man. Don't know why he ain't throw no punches. I will say this about Mikey. He's solid, but he's exactly what I thought he was. He's like Mayweather called Triple G, straight up and down. I mean, Broner just gave it away. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. I mean, I didn't see anything special. I mean, I didn't see Mikey Garcia do anything nobody else has ever done at Broner. I mean, he just didn't throw any. What was it, like 90 punches or something he threw? He just didn't throw any. So disappointed, not surprised, but disappointed. Had a good time there. Yeah, Charlo. Yeah, he definitely. I don't know what was going on with that. Yeah, he was injured. The guy was injured before he got in, but it is what it is. He probably would have knocked him out 6th round or something. Big Baby Miller. He's funny, man. He's all right. I'd like to see him up against somebody a little better. He go up against Wilder. Nah, he's gonna lose. Anthony Joshua, he's gonna lose. He's definitely gonna lose because I mean, with Gerald Washington, he gave him a couple of rounds, but I mean, he didn't have the power, the speed to do anything with him. So, but yeah, it was a electric atmosphere. Like I said, it was pretty good. First time in the Barclays. I mean. First time call, I'm excited about that. I finally got through. Enjoy the show, man. I really like it. Y'all got me started on this Border Wars thing, man. I'm really interested in that, man. Really interested in that.
Oh, you checked it out already, Anthony?
Nah, not yet. I got to go on Patreon and all that.
All right. Well, you could do two things. Check it out. Check out the fights. And obviously, if you want to join, you could just head on over to theboxingvoice.com/Border Wars ending in an S. And that's it. You sign up. And we'll screen you, baby. We'll screen you. I mean, it's actually almost over. The spots are filling up. We will be talking about it on Overtime tonight, so you could definitely join us there for more details at 10 o'clock. But I want to thank you, obviously, for calling in. That is your 10-second clapper, so your round is up. And thank you for making your debut. Join us on Patreon, like I said, for Overtime, where we'll discuss a lot of matchups that are already made. I mean, this is going to be the mother of all Border Wars cards. We have a little bit of everything. I mean, rivalries, hatred, revenge, redemption. Everything is there, man. I mean, it is really bubbling right now. Brandon in Houston, talk to us.
What up, Boxing Voice?
What's up?
To all my Charlo fans, let me break it down for y'all. He won the fight. He is the WBC mandatory. This means that they cannot say fighter A, B, C, D, or Q whatever the fuck. They have to fight him. There's nobody else that can stop him from fighting either Golovkin or Canelo. These guys are going to fight, and Charlo's going to win, plain and simple. Now to the Broner fight. Broner, to me, he didn't look like he showed up at all. I gave him like 2 rounds. But I just don't understand why he doesn't let his hands go, man. Like, he was in position all night. And sorry. Yeah, forget it. Thumbs up, like, support. That's my call.
All right, Brandon. Let's. Whoa, we just got a influx of calls.
That might be JP. Hold on. No, it's not. I don't think so.
What time is it? Oh, we still have time.
No, it's Fight Doctor. Right there.
I don't know because I can't see what you see.
You know what it is. That's Fight Doctor. Come on.
I don't see it.
Don't even respect your ass. That's why it's time for the doctor to check your ass, nigga.
Fight Doctor in the house on Rick James status as always. What's going on, gentlemen?
Fight Doctor, how are you? Been a while.
What's up, Fight Doctor?
Well, you know, listen, I want to apologize. Life has just been, you know, it's just been happening. So, but I'm glad to be back. Thank you. Just want to make my quick comments real quick on this weekend's happenings. Honestly, Jamal Charlo. He made some very interesting comments post-fight. He called himself the reincarnation of Vernon Forrest. He certainly looks the part. I want to see what he looks like against a real middleweight. I mean, that guy he had in front of him with the one leg. I mean, listen, he looks the part. And I'll be honest with you, I think he gives Golovkin problems. Mikey Garcia looked real good. I think Adrien Broner, he should probably change his name from About Billions to About Bullshit, because at the end of the day, in each and every one of his step-up fights, he's come up short. He came up short against Maidana. He came up short against Porter, and now against Mikey Garcia. I think Garcia, as good as he is, I don't think he's ready for Terrence Crawford. If I were his management team, I wouldn't be trying to make that fight. I think the money fight that he should be looking at, Lomachenko, because that is a very winnable fight. I'd be surprised if Aaron makes that fight. To be completely honest with you, I think Aaron will probably be better served by making the Lomachenko Rigondeaux fight, because that's a winnable fight for Lomachenko. But the Garcia fight, not a winnable fight. Lomachenko probably gets knocked out in that fight. But yeah, Charlo definitely looks the part. I want to see what he looks like against a real middleweight. I wouldn't be surprised because he's the mandatory in the WBC at 160. I wouldn't be surprised if Golovkin beats Canelo. I wouldn't be surprised if he vacates and does not fight Charlo. I don't think, that's not a good fight for Golovkin. And gentlemen, that's my call.
Fight Doc, thanks for calling in. You know, that is an interesting little thing there. Like, if somehow Canelo beats Golovkin will still be the WBC champ. So, interesting to see where he goes.
Well, not necessarily, because I know sometimes, again, it depends on what the exact contract for this exact fight is. I do know sometimes when certain belts are on the line, they become vacant if the person who won it were no longer fighting for that title. Right? I remember when Daniel Jacobs fought Triple G, I believe it was said that if Daniel Jacobs won, the IBF would be vacant. It would not go to either Triple G or Daniel Jacobs. Again, could be wrong on that, but I believe that was the case in that fight.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I would have to double check that.
Let me get to John Wolf in Louisiana. Talk to us. John? John, start over, buddy. We didn't get that. You hear me, John?
No.
John, are you
I
there?
don't hear you.
We hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm here. I said I agree with the guy that said Charlo should fight another fight before he fights Triple G. As far as Broner, he needs people around him to humble him because he has this inflated ego, but he's not showing it in the ring. So if I was his trainer, I would start, if he just stand there and not throw punches, I'd start throwing in the towel. Something, do something. He need to stop letting him have these rappers walk to the ring with him. And I don't know what he do. He do something because he's like, to me, he could be as good as he wants to be, but he's just not. He don't want to throw his hands, and yet still running his mouth and shaking his head the whole fight, but not throwing a punch. So maybe he needs to sit down and then really think about whether or not he really wants to fight or not. That's my call.
All right, John. Thanks for calling in. Let me get to 585. First time caller. 585.
Nah, this is Dwayne from Rochester.
Dwayne, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? Didn't call in to get my prediction about Broner, but I was going for Broner. I want to see him win. He really needed that fight last night. I was really disappointed, along with a lot of other people that came to watch the fight at my house. I don't know. He's just becoming right now a stepping stone. Right now, that's what he's going to be. You know, everybody that fought him and beat him has gone to bigger and better things. You know, and Garcia's going to go to bigger, better things. Madonna beat him, went to bigger, better things, fought Mayweather, whatever. And, you know, Sean Porter did the same. So, unless Broner get it together, man, I don't know. I feel bad for him, man. You know, it's like he needs to get it together. I thought he would have got together a long time ago, man. He looked real focused in the training camp, and to see him go out like that and not throwing any punches was highly disappointing. But I give Garcia a lot of credit, man. He really stepped up and showed everybody who didn't really see a lot of him, that he's an elite fighter. As far as Charlo, I wasn't impressed. I mean, he didn't fight nobody. He fought a guy that came in the ring with a bad leg. So, I mean, he did what he had to do. I give him that. But hopefully he get a Triple G and Canelo fight. I got a feeling that he's not going to get those fights. I think they're going to avoid him and eventually fight him when they have to. That's my opinion. That's what I think is going to happen with him. So that's my call, fellas.
Peace out, Dwayne.
Well, thanks for calling in, my friend. Wes in San Diego, you're up.
Yo, what's good, man?
What up?
Man, I got to eat my crow, man. I mean, I've done hard for them, man. And I at least thought Broner would go out on his shield, man. Because even in the Madonna fight, the fight that he lost, man, he went out on his shield. He banged. You know what I'm saying? He grinded. You know what I'm saying? He grinded against Granados. I thought that he would grind against Mikey. You know, it looked like he was fighting as a counterpuncher all night long. He was just looking for this one. He wanted a pretty win. That's what he wanted. He wanted a pretty win. He wanted to hit Garcia with this beautiful counter shot that was just going to have him on drunk street and then just go ahead and take him on up out of there. And actually taking nothing from Garcia, he came in there, he did what he was supposed to do. He won. He's undefeated. He's not a bum. But at 140, it's tough for me to really gauge him at 140, being that he didn't have no competition in front of him last night. Broner wouldn't even let his hands go, man. He just jumped around the ring all night, just flicking that jab out there, looking for a nice counter shot to hit him with. It's kind of hard for me to kind of gauge Garcia at 140, being that Broner didn't show up last night, man. But yeah, man, that's it. That's all I got. Peace.
All right, brother. Well, thanks for calling in. We going out to Las Vegas, 702 Las Vegas. Talk to us.
What's going on with it, man?
First time caller?
Quick. Yeah, first time caller, man.
I'm going to go ahead and play this first time caller intro. Let the world know your name, where you're calling from.
Ladies and gentlemen, making his professional debut.
Owens, I'm out here in Las Vegas, man. And it's hot ass Las Vegas. But anyway, it's from the league, man. Outside of the my identifier is like the homie AB got the Floyd curse. Everything Floyd. Every time the last couple of fights Floyd co-promoted, you know, he came up short. Not to take nothing from Mikey, man. Mikey showed up last night and did what he had to do. But you know, there's other turns that need to be made for him. You know what I'm saying? But again, and one thing, he didn't let his hands go. And the times he did in those small spots throughout the fight, you know what I'm saying? He had progress, and then he just shelled back up. So you know what I'm saying? Like, there's some other things going on. I don't know about behind the scenes and all that, but it's like, if he would have stuck to that jab, I think he could have worked off the jab so much more last night. It's like, after the first, I gave him the first round and that was it. I hear some people say he gave him a couple of rounds. But the first round he looked good, and after that it just declined after that. And there was no more work done in very small spots. But that's all, man. I want to stop through and pop that on y'all real quick, man. Y'all take it easy.
Well, all right. Owens, thanks for calling in. We've come to that part of the show where it's final thoughts time. You can pick up with us if you're not done. If you still want to talk, you can keep chit-chatting with us. In about 15 minutes, we will be live on TVB Overtime, where we just sit around and talk everything. It's a no holds barred. No topics are left untouched, probably. But yeah, my final thoughts, man. Broner said it best. Probably not the way I would have wanted him to say it, but he's right. We're gonna watch him tomorrow. If he signs another fight, we'll come out to watch him, and anyone still can get it. That being an opportunity at Broner, and you know, possibly shining if you win. Big Baby Miller is fun and exciting for the heavyweight division. I enjoy what it is that he brings. I don't know about the power yet. I got to see him with another guy, right? Because, you know, look, to think about it, Wilder also did not ice Washington. The referee jumped in, and in this one, the corner stepped in. So maybe it's too quick to say Miller doesn't have power. Maybe we need to just think deeper.
True. Good point.
Jamal Charlo, Vernon Forrest, Tommy Hearns. It wouldn't really matter. I think that Jamal Charlo is himself and will be a force to reckon with. I'm excited to see what's next. I hope he doesn't go on a 6-month layoff waiting to see does Canelo rematch Triple G or Triple G rematch Canelo or blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. And Sadam Ali. What I saw yesterday doesn't tell me that this WBA version, I'm not saying it's a regular, I'm not saying it's an interim, it's something, and it's WBA. I hope that is not a ladder. or Yellow Brick Road to Keith Thurman. He's not ready. I'd like to see him versus, if I'm putting on my promoter hat as a politician, then I'll say I'd like to see him versus the winner of Caras Herrera. If it's Caras, I want to see him tested with power again. We didn't speak about Eddie Boy Gomez, who lost again. I feel so bad.
That's sad.
It's that he's too short, man. He's too short for welterweight, bro, and he's just too big of a guy. I mean, man, I don't know. You got to watch that fight. It was on ESPN. It's probably on their app, which is a good thing now that Golden Boy and Top Rank have this deal. ESPN has a shitload of boxing throughout this whole month, all the way through Mayweather-McGregor, all the way past Andango and Vasil Lomachenko. They're going to be playing all the Lomachenko fights, all the Crawford fights. They're going to be playing De La Hoya fights. They're going to be playing old Pacquiao fights. There's going to be a shit load of overdosed boxing on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN the app. Don't say I never gave you nothing, punks. Final thoughts on Ali. Yeah, I need to see him with someone with a little bit of pop. The Warren fight, I know you brought it up. I didn't even see it. I seen highlights like everyone else because they didn't show it. And like Warren didn't knock out McJoe Arroyo. Like McJoe Arroyo isn't a 3-time Olympian. Like Warren doesn't have power. I mean, I'm not trying to write him off because of that, but I lose interest because of that. So that's my final thoughts. My name is Nesto. No, Nesgto. Nesgto. Catch me on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, but better yet on Overtime. Patreon.com/TheBoxingVoice.
And my final thoughts.
Oh, you got some too?
Of course.
Yeah, we're not taking turns doing final thoughts.
Of course.
It
was a dickhead joke.
It's that East Coast, asshole
East
move.
Coast asshole humor.
Final thoughts. Mike Garcia, I think he proved something. And if you don't believe it, I think you aren't looking at it right. I think Adrien Broner's always been what he's been. This isn't a version of Adrien Broner that's not committed. This isn't a version of Adrien Broner that's not dedicated. This is the best Adrien Broner that we've seen in a while. This is a good Adrien Broner. He's not as good as Mikey. There's levels to this game, and Mikey's just a different level. What level he is, I don't know yet. Maybe he's above Terrence Crawford level. Maybe he's that level where he can go up to 147 and beat Keith Thurman. I don't know. What I do know is I'm never going to count him out again. He's proved that to me in his last 2 fights, so I cannot wait to see Mike Garcia again. Jamal Charlo, man, I want to see him fight Daniel Jacobs, David Lemieux, someone of that ilk. Prove that you are legit middleweight. This win really wasn't that. Heiland wasn't at 100%. He was fighting Forrest Gump out there. Let's just be real. So I don't know. I want that. I want that next fight. I don't want him to wait around until Triple G Canelo gets figured out. There's too many options out there. Go make yourself the option. Go make yourself the guy that they have to fight. And then you're going to get the fight, guaranteed. And with you, Charlo, you could win. Charlo could be the guy at this division. He could be. He's absolutely right when he says, I am the real Tommy Hearns. Because he could be. He could be that guy. He's the real Marvin Hagler. He could be that guy. And let's see it. Big Baby Miller. Man, I love Big Baby Miller, man. I can't wait for him to fight like a Dominic Brazil next, which I almost guarantee will happen. And then plenty of other fights. Katie Taylor, shout out to you. Shout out to Sadam Ali. Shout out to Victor Ortiz. Yeah, great fights this weekend. Obviously, I am at the Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Mixed Combat News on Twitter, Matt Hunter TBV on Instagram. My MMA podcast, Mixed Combat Radio. You can find that on Patreon, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, etc. under that name, Mixed Combat Radio. We did a show a couple days ago, obviously previewing the UFC 214 card. We'll do a show tomorrow, obviously reviewing it and reviewing John Jones becoming the TBE. And I'm out. TBE Overtime.
And I'm Steven Calderon. You can find me on Twitter at Calderon92 and on Instagram at sugar_steve.c. And you can also find me at TBV Overtime tonight. Mikey Garcia is the truth. Charlo needs another fight at middleweight. Big Baby Miller's fun as hell. Ali needs some more welterweight comeback fights. Thank you.
Remember, TBV Overtime, patreon.com/The Boxing Voice.
I was
And
so
remember,
good.
hold on, very quickly, before we actually leave. Shout out to everyone that leaves a 5-star review on iTunes.
Oh shit! Yeah, I sent
you. We do have some reviews, so before we leave,
so late in the show.
I know it's so late in the show. I'm sorry, all of you people that gave the reviews, but you need to give them out on the.
You know what? I'm gonna drop a new beat since you're gonna do some intros. We're gonna drop this new beat that Georgie Porgy sent us. See what y'all think of it.
Georgie Porgy sent us.
Georgie Porgy on the track, B.
No way.
Oh shit! Yeah, I can't be stealing Dollar DiBiase's intro too. I said Georgie Porgy on the track. I don't know what Georgie go by. What do you do? DJ Georgie Porgy. Yo, but you can start reading the intro as I said.
My bad. Let me pull them up really fast.
Intro, but the reviews. Very
quickly from nickname Jorge. He said, I've dedicated the last 6 months of boxing on boxing, and the Boxing Voice has everything you need to get started or to get you involved in the boxing world, small or big. Matt and Ness know their stuff. You're not gonna get better than this. That's from nickname Jorge. 5-star review. Thank you, Jorge. A High from USA said, I'll be calling in the next time you're talking Ward. Again, 5-star review. Thank you. Black Hippie 1220 gave an A+ message. That's all he said was A+, and a 5-star review. And then we have JL85 saying this is the best boxing podcast, period, with 5 exclamation marks. And, it's because we want to be as open, and transparent as possible. We did get a 1-star review, and I wanted to shout him out. I actually can't shout him out because I don't know how to say that. Just a bunch of letters and underscores. Sometimes you have to wonder if some of these guys actually believe the things they're saying. Shaking my head.
Oh, that's what he said?
That's what he said.
Sometimes they actually believe that we actually believe what we're saying.
No. He said sometimes you have to wonder if some of these guys actually believe the things they're saying.
Oh, damn. George's beat is a little loud. Let's check it out. It's almost like a movie has started.
From Burger 7, the absolute best boxing podcast on the market. Just love the interaction between the host and the public. So much knowledge that they distribute. Go subscribe. Yes, go subscribe. Go to @TheBoxingVoice on all social medias except for Facebook. Facebook is just Boxing Voice. And obviously patreon.com/The Boxing Voice, where you can go catch us for another hour or so of content.
Thank you, Georgie. It got that little, what's that dude, Manny Fresh? The little Manny Fresh beats on it, a little jump like. Yo, we gotta hurry up. We got 5 minutes before it's time to really go.
Peace.
Oh, all right. That means bye.